We. Yeah. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. 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 Can you guys hear me alright? Jamie, can you check if this is working? Hello. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Hello. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've just titled it live with. I've just titled it generically. We've got Dan with us today. Ooh, look at that eye. Is that on, Dan? You sure that's on? Shit, it was on 360.
Looks pretty cool. What's that? How's that?
I don't know.
What's on 360?
The first attempt I did, I was like, what is going on?
360 camera?
There isn't one.
How you doing? You're right. How's that work then? Is that one of 3 ones?
They are fire, bro. Yeah. They are wow nice. Hello, everybody. We will be starting shortly. I'm just trying to get another mic set up, which is proving difficult, so bear with us. No, Dan is here. He's just next to me. We are just trying to get another mic set up. And I think we have done it. Jane, will you go check, please? Right. I'm just going to do a little test through the other mic, see. Hello everybody. I think we'll be ready to roll any second.
A bottle of water, you know.
A bottle of water will be sound.
Jamie, water.
Hello everybody and welcome to full Reptile live stream. Yeah. Oi, we're ready to roll now, boys. Will you go on? Will you do the? Right. When there's nothing happening, feel free to turn around. 1 second, I'm just gonna put this. We're ready to roll now, boys.
Well. Sweet.
Right, I'll stop jiggling this mic now. So, here we are. So who's the most handsome?
Do you really want to play that game? Hi Elliot, I love you too, man. It's warmer now.
I'm jealous of your stand.
Jealous of my stand?
Yeah.
Should've come ready then, shouldn't I? Should've come ready.
Turn you
See,
up
I
a
have
little
to get
bit.
up and start playing with another mic.
I think you need to get a little bit
I need to
closer.
get closer to it.
Yeah,
Check, talking.
that's better.
Yeah?
How are them levels, everyone? Sounding good?
How are you, my friend? Good to see you. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Dan's gonna be, what do you call it? Not narrating.
MCing
MCing the weigh-ins.
makes me sound like a rapper.
Yeah.
So I bought my
What would
hat
your
to
rap
put on.
name be?
I'd just probably go with MC Outlaw. Works, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does work. MC Sperm Whale. I mean Lake Sperm.
MC Sperm Whale. Suits you, weirdly.
Yeah. That hat suits you as well.
Thanks,
weirdly.
man. Thanks.
You don't usually rock them
I
hats,
don't
do you?
normally. No, I don't normally. But my hair's all over the place today. Needs cutting.
So you guys had chance. Sorry, I'm just trying to drink some water. So this is my stand for a second.
Are you announcing it? Yes. Is there a mic floating around somewhere? Happy days.
So has anybody here had a chance to check out our latest content? Listen, really good.
Trying to work Dan's haircut out gives me a headache. Well, the fact that your last name's Barber, I guess it makes sense, doesn't it? Sorry, Scott. I wasn't cutting my hair for you.
MC
Outlaw. Kicking the beats, absolutely. It's a mohawk, that's what it is. But unfortunately, you can't have a mohawk up all the time. And with the length of it at the moment, I won't be able to get through doorways. I mean, I think I'm joking. I mean, that's... What is that? 10 inches?
That's a...
12?
About... That looks like about 8.
Always overestimating things. No good with sizes. Where's the chat gone?
I'll get it back up. I was just showing you. So this is the live feed.
Right.
And then we're a few seconds delayed here. So
The interview with Casey was good. It was very good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, so we've got Matt Talon on stage. He's just giving everybody the rundown of how to work a towel. Hold it like this. Make sure they're closed before you move it. I preferred it when they do the shower curtain. You know, it's a bit easier.
Rather than the hoop.
No, that's the hoop.
Oh, that is the hoop. Right, okay.
It's like the...
what's the shower curtain then?
It's like that. It's like the costume that Dan LaRusso wore in Karate Kid. You know which one I mean? You know when he goes to the school party and he wants to kind of go covertly, so he has this like shower screen thing around him.
I do know what you mean. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't even look. Right, yeah.
Having a trial run at the moment. That's Matt Talon at the moment with that giant UFC towel. So you walk them up to the stage. They get on the scales. Make sure no one's leaning on you or hanging onto the towel. Or leaning on a coach. Oh, there's a whole protocol to this.
So why have
How
they
is it on
changed?
Fight Island? It's awesome on Fight Island. It's rather warm. It's
very, very warm. Why have they changed it? Do you know? Do you know what would...
I'm not sure, to be honest. Normally they use the shower curtain for the ladies. There it is. You always wanted the UFC shower curtain.
I did, yeah.
It's not very long, that. It's a bit short. Going to tease us with their ankles.
If I had to get naked for the weigh-ins,
You'd just do
rather
it,
go like that.
You'd just do it, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
Just get on the stairs with your little your little man out. I can't remember who it was. So there was someone that got on the scales and I can't. They were like, hold this for a minute and I'll make weight. And I can't remember who it was. What's the comments saying? Fear does not exist in this podcast. It doesn't. Just got here. Has anyone weighed in? No one's weighed in yet. No one's weighed in. We are 10 minutes away from starting the weigh-ins.
So out of all the names here, Dan, which do you think's the hardest to pronounce?
I don't know, to be honest. I would say probably that Tagir Lambekov's going to be a difficult one because I'm going to be overthinking it when I walk up there. Although Ali Al-Qaisi is going to be a difficult one as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Ali Al-Qaisi, yeah.
Because I think I want to say something different, but
it's because there's like almost two Al.
That's it.
Message.
What's your weight right now, Steve? You don't ask a girl those kind of things. A lot.
James,
heavy.
where is the blonde? He's over there.
What is my weight right now? I'm about 200 pounds right now, actually. I was heavier when I arrived on Fight Island. I was 206 when I arrived on Fight Island, which is rather heavy for me.
Oh, what did you say you were now?
I've lost about 10 pounds. It's done. I'm on it. I've lost about 10 pounds since I got here. I'm not commentating UFC 254 unless I can trip DC up when he gets here and steal his mic, which I might try.
When does DC arrive?
DC will bounce, you know.
Yeah.
He should be here soon. He's working the last two events with us.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So
Zombie and Ortega
Yes, and then 254.
So it'll be John Gooden.
It's me, John, and Felder this weekend, and John and DC the next one.
Very cool.
Yeah. Should be good.
Has anyone here managed to have a listen? And if so, let us know what your favourite bit was, because
dude, I've watched the clip of Mark breaking his chair.
Same.
Like 100 times.
Do you know what?
It's hilarious, isn't it?
I sent it.
It's karma for slamming you into the sea. That's what it is.
Do you know what I was? I sent it to my phone so that I could watch it in real slow motion, and I just wanted to watch your reaction and how you you reacted. It was just the eyes first, then a little mouth open. It was brilliant. Little
I always expect something like that to happen with Mark, though. I mean, he's such a big lump, isn't he?
Yeah.
Listen was banging. Yes, it was banging. And if you hadn't checked it out, and Mystery won't push it because it's his product, but the Chiesa thing was awesome as well. We've got Raptors meets. You did another one today with Sam Greco and Dan Kelly.
That's right, yeah.
And then you've done one with Aspinall as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
When's that going up?
Hopefully tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
I tried exporting it before we got here, but there was an error, and then I was just like, I'll do it when we get there. So it'll be out tonight.
Nice. I mean, 350
It's
people
not bad.
watching.
Top viewing figures for the last weigh-ins were about 450.
Is that right? We had nearly 800 watching Listen last night when it was premiering.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asleep.
It's a good number. It's my favourite number. So which is the fight everyone's looking forward to on the card then? I'm interested to see what your fight of the night pick is. And then at the end of the weigh-ins I'll tell you which mine is.
I think the Impa fight might be pretty good.
I told you that RDA was going to be out, didn't I?
Yeah, you showed
crazy, right?
Yeah. Before we even got here, we were going to do a war room. I can tell this story, yeah? Yeah. We were going to do a war room, and then we decided against it, or Dan decided against it. I mean, we had a lot on anyway, so it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that he did decide to do that. But Dan said, I don't think that fight's going to make it. And I was like, really? You don't think? I think because I'm a big Islam fan, I didn't even really think about RDA. I was just expecting to see some Islam. And you messaged this morning, didn't you, saying, "Where's my mystic ball?"
My crystal ball, man. I just had a feeling, and the reason is, it's pretty logical, really.
Yeah.
RDA's going back down to 155, and he's been up at 170 for a while. So cutting back down to 155 is going to put his immune system under a lot of stress. You know.
That is
and
logical.
you know, like everyone's around COVID now. It's out there, so you know. Lick a door handle and go through it and deal with it. Like it's gonna happen. You're gonna get it like you get the flu. And I just thought to myself, I know how I feel in training camp, and I remember cutting to 160, like 160 pounds, and feeling like, I just felt susceptible to everything. And I just thought to myself, RDA later in his career, cutting back down to 155 in the current pandemic, I was a little doubtful. It's a shame though, because obviously
when you bear that, what you're saying in mind, like logically, obviously there's tons of fighters here that are cutting weight as well. I mean, that says a lot for the UFC, doesn't it, in respect to how well they're doing in containing everybody in here. Yeah. And everyone traveling as well to get here as well. You know, it is, your immune system does take a bit of a battering when you're in training camp. But then the good thing is obviously the PI's on it, and they're handing out supplements and vitamins for everybody to make sure they're staying healthy. So I would imagine that's a big part of it. But yeah, it's definitely something to consider, especially if you're a young fighter. Cutting weight does suppress your immune system. So keep all those grubby dudes out of the gym that don't wash their hands and shit. How do you counterbalance that?
Oh, what?
How would you... So if you're cutting weight and your immune system is struggling, what kind of things could you do to counteract that?
I mean, the best thing to do is rest. That's really the best thing to do. I used to track my health in training camp with a blood pressure monitor. So I'd wake up, and if I'd have a rough idea of what my blood pressure was at the start of training camp when I was healthy and strong, and I would just watch it. So every day I'd get up, and I had this little thing that I would strap onto my wrist, press a button, and it fills up with air, and then takes your blood pressure. And I would do it before I got out of bed in the morning, and it would allow me to kind of monitor my heart rate. And if your heart rate's a few beats above normal, I mean, it shows you can be fatigued, overtraining, and they're the times when you're going to get sick. So that's
when you cut weight, you used to do it by yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I always did.
Tell
It
me
was
about
always
that.
quite a personal experience for me. And it sounds kind of weird, but the weight cut for me was always like the march to battle. You know, I think I've said this before in a war room. Like, whenever guys were going to pitch battles, in Troy when they go and fetch Achilles from his tent, whereas with the bird in the tent, and they go and fetch him, and the next minute is at the battlefield. Like, that's not how it happened. I mean, they had to walk miles and miles with armor and shields and weapons and stuff. So like the march to battle was half of the fight, and I always felt like the weigh-in was a part of that. But it always would. Yeah, sure. It would always get me in the mindset that, right, work's starting now. And I enjoyed the process of weight cutting. And I didn't. I mean, sometimes I cut a lot. Other times, my last fight I cut 6 pounds, which was barely anything. I did. I mean, and I went for a run the night before the weigh-ins as well, just because I had excess energy, because it was in my hometown, and I was a bit kind of buzzing. But I went for a run that night. I lost 3 pounds. Woke up and I'd still 2 of those pounds had still not come back onto my frame because I'd not eaten or drank it or eaten anything. And then I just started my weight cut the next day, so I did sort of 3.5, 4 pounds for the Nottingham fight. But then there have been times like I went out to, where was I? Ohio, and I was cutting weight there, and I did 16 pounds that day. And that was a day in a sauna.
On your own?
Yeah. I mean, it's not smart to do. You know, you
it-
should have someone there, but I'm quite antisocial anyway, so I like being on my own, in my own headspace.
I think I'd like that as well, but maybe for reasons where I just didn't want people to see me so fragile and weak and irritable and pissing people off that were there to care for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you. And the thing, and I mean, that's the other thing with fight week hotels, is that you're in a. It's gonna make a lot of noise.
That's all right. No, it doesn't even didn't make that much noise at all.
Like when you're in the fight week hotel, oftentimes you're sharing space with all the other fighters when you're in the sauna. I mean, I've been in a sauna once. I was there with, who was there? Chris Lieben was there. There were a bunch of Brazilian guys in there. The Brazilians have an interesting way of weight cutting. They always use their room cards to scrape the sweat off the skin.
Do they?
It just seemed like a very Brazilian thing. I never saw anybody else doing it aside from the Brazilian fighters. Terry was as well, was it?
Yeah.
I just used to take a towel in, and I used to just wipe the sweat off, because the thing is, obviously the sweat on your skin is supposed to stay there to evaporate, to cool you down, but if you keep taking the sweat off your skin, it'll keep coming out. And I remember Chris Lieben used to sit there and count the drips coming off his forehead, and he would say 1,000 drips is a pound, and that was kind of how he'd work through it. So he would count the drips falling off his forehead.
Right.
And once he'd counted 1,000, he felt like he'd dropped a pound.
I remember Terry's coach Eric doing it on his shins, getting all the water off. I mean, probably wasn't that painful, but it didn't look very nice.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own kind of thing. See, like hot bathing wasn't really a thing when I was fighting.
Was it not?
Nah.
How did that come around?
I don't know, to be honest. I never liked it, because I always felt hot bath for me is like, end of a hard day, or like after the fight. Like, I would sauna and cold shower. It just felt like it just chilled me out too much.
Oh, right.
So it never really suited me. But I know a lot of guys do it, and it saves the effort of moving to cut weight. But, I mean, if I'm in fight shape, I'd like to think I can move around for a little while to cut a bit of weight. We're going to be starting in a minute.
Do you want to go up?
I'm going to have to go and grab my other mic in a second.
Yeah, no worries. Let's have a read of these comments. This channel dope as. Thank you. Just before you go,
Yeah.
who do you think anybody?
Sure.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound.
Oh, you sir, you well. Let's see.
Yeah, do you think?
Right. I'll be back in a moment.
Sound. So Dan's gonna be emceeing the weigh-ins, which should be cool. Rocking the full Reptile at the weigh-ins is Dan. So, who have we got out here first?
Hello, can you hear me? Welcome to the weigh-ins, everybody. We're going to get straight into this because we've got a whole load of fighters waiting to step on the scales. Okay, first fights to the stage. Dricus Duplessis.
So first fighter to the stage is Dricus Duplessis, old KSW champ. He's making his debut today as well. Well, not today, tomorrow. I was talking to him on media day, and he's very, very excited to be here making his debut. I think he was absolutely buzzing with the UFC gear that you get, the flip-flops, the shorts.
186 for Dricus Duplessis.
186 for Dricus Duplessis. Looking good. They always go the wrong way, don't they? Every single time.
Next up in the featherweight division, Omar Morales.
So next up in the featherweight division is Omar Morales, 3-round bout. He's fighting Giga Jacasey. Corey Sandhagen looks like he's next as well. You can see him at the door. So here's Omar Morales. I didn't actually get to speak to Omar. He wasn't at the media day.
145.5 for Omar Morales.
145.5 weighing in. It's a good start from everybody so far. Veronica Macedo interviewed Omar last night, in fact. So that'll be dropping tonight on V and. I don't know if you've seen that before. Let us know in the comments if you have seen it.
One half of your main event, Corey Sandhagen.
Corey Sandhagen. One half of the main event, 5-round bantamweight bout, fighting Omar Morales. Corey's a real cool dude. I was asking him about a few of his heroes on weigh-ins, on media day. One being Bob Marley, the other being Martin Luther King. I was interested in what it was about those characters that he took so much away from.
136 for Corey Sandhagen.
136 for Corey. And it was all about balance, apparently. As he lives such a violent life at work, he sees these people as good balance, which is quite interesting. Cool dude there.
Next to the scale in the women's bantamweight division, Stephanie Edgar.
Stephanie Edgar coming out. Women's bantamweight 3-round bout. She fights Tracy Cortez. Super is a strong word. You reckon, yeah? Have a look, fight fan. Toothless Prophet.
135.5 for Stephanie Edgar.
135.5 for Stephanie Edgar. So if you've just joined, she's fighting Tracy Cortez. Second fight on the card.
Next up in the heavyweight division, Tom Aspinall.
Next up is Tom Aspinall. I sat down with Tom yesterday for a good hour and 20 minutes, and we've got a fighter psyche coming out tonight, which is really, really interesting chat. Tom's a super cool dude. Tom's fighting Alan Badot. God. Alan Badot. Can't say his name. I'm gonna have to wait for Dan to say it. 252 for Tom Aspinall. So Tom is the second fight on the ESPN main card.
Next to scale, the middleweight division, KB Bueller.
So next to the scale is KB Buller. That's right, Harry. His hero is Gordon Ramsay. Tom Aspinall's. KB Buller, this guy is very funny. Remove this Edgar.
186 for KB Bueller.
186 for KB Buller. KB's fighting Tom Breeze.
Moving on to the bantamweight division, Tony Kelly.
Francesco. It's not very nice. I think he was quite traumatized by that. Thank you, preacher. Very nice of you, mate. Tom Frank Mir Aspinall. He is a Frank Mir lookalike, that's for sure. Not so much since he's had his haircut, but still very much so. Thanks a lot, guys. That's very nice of you all.
136 for Tony Kelly.
So Tony Kelly coming in at 136. Everybody doing well so far? Oh yeah, where is the 5-second lady? Oh, she's next to me. She just looked at me. I'm not sure. Let's see. Huh. Maybe they've been doing the 5 seconds naturally. I'm not sure.
Next to scale, the featherweight division, Yusuf Salal.
Yusuf Zalal coming out. He's fighting Ilia Topuria. So there's the 5-second lady talking to Yusuf. James is on the camera. He's doing a good job with the camera, that's for sure.
146 for Yusuf Salal.
146 for Yusuf Zalal. Once again in a 3-round featherweight bout against Ilia Topuria. I'm not sure what he's saying to Dan, but when Dan comes back, we'll ask him. He's saying something. He's saying something else now as well. I feel like I can hear an airplane going over us, but yeah, that's definitely an airplane. Can you guys hear that? Flip it now.
Next up in the heavyweight division, Ben Rothwell.
Ben Rothwell coming out. Ben is the Coco main. 3-round fight against Marcin Tybura. Do like Ben, seems like a real funny guy and a chill guy. You can hear the airplane, yeah? So who you guys got?
265 for Ben Rothwell.
Wow. 265 for Ben Rothwell. Ben's fighting Martian Taboria. What do you guys think about that fight? 5 seconds lady doing a bit there. Tyson Fury looking like, yeah. I don't know how that hasn't
Next to the scale in the middleweight division, Tom Breeze.
come about yet. Tom Breeze coming out now. Tom fighting KB Buller. Every time I've seen Tom, it seems like he's been on his own. I haven't seen anyone with him yet. I'll have to ask Dan about that as well. I know he trains in Renegade and, well, sometimes. I'm not sure how often he does train at Renegade.
186 for Tom Breeze.
186 for Tom Breeze. Have you guys got any questions? If you guys have any questions, chuck them in, and I'll get them answered, either by myself or Dan. Ben looks like a Greek god. Dude. Taboria does have bricks for fists. Polish power. That's what that is. Polish
Next
power.
fight to the scale, Joaquin Buckley.
Joaquin Buckley coming out now. Joaquin is fighting Impa Kasangiana. I'm going to have to wait for someone to say that as well. Impa Kasangane. Right, we'll go with that. Impa Kasangane from Contender Series. Been killing it. Beast the guy is. We should title this The Weigh-Ins with Awful Pronunciation.
185.5 for
Oh,
Joaquin
mate.
Buckley.
The Raptors destroy Oscar. 2v1 as well, mate. MacLife would go down. If that's what the if that's how we got our credentials, Raptors versus Oscar from MacLife, our boy is in trouble. Is Nick Pete gonna weigh in? Nick Pete's not here yet. He arrives soon.
Moving on to the bantamweight division, the other half of your main event, Marlon Moraes.
It's pronounced Kasangane. Still can't do it, bro. So I need to hear it. I'm dyslexic, so. Kasangane. Well, how about that? Impa Kasangane. Oh, that does feel and sound a bit better. Thank you, Truth. Kasangane. Impa Kasangane.
136 for Marlon Moraes.
Marlon Moraes. 136. In the main event, fighting Corey Sandhagen. How do you guys see that going down? This is going to be a scrap. Absolute scrap. He's looking trim now. Fair play. Obviously.
Moving on to the flyweight division, Bruno Silva.
Bruno Silva coming out. So this is the first fight on the card. Bruno Silva against Tigir Olambekov. Everyone reckon Marlon gonna win this. I don't know if I can say what I think, but I have a feeling Corey might do this.
$125.5 for Bruno Silva.
125.5 for Bruno Silva. Everyone's flying out today. I'm not sure if there'll be any breaks. I'm just looking out the door and I can still see loads of fighters. which is good for you guys.
Next
No,
fights to the scale of the middleweight division, Impa Kasanganai.
oh, Impicasangane. I can't say it. I forgot how you pronounced that a minute ago. How did you say it? But anyway, this guy is a beast. Impicasangane. Yeah, that was right. Yeah. Dan, what did Dan kill? The pronunciation truth? Is that what you meant? $185.5
$185.5 for Impa Kasanganai.
for Impicasangane. Or Nai? Impicasangane. Is it Nay or Nai? Now that's the bit I need to know. Impicasangane or Impicasangane. Have you guys managed to go and watch, listen yet? Mark Goddard and Dan Hardy put out a great new podcast last night. It's absolutely hilarious. Mark broke the chair. He was sat on it, being animated, and the weight of the man buckled the chair. Very,
Returning
very
to the
funny.
flyweight division, Tagir Ulanbekov.
So Tagir Alambekov is coming on now. He fights Bruno Silva in the first fight on the card. Tagir in the blue corner. $126 for Tagir Alembekov. And as I look out the door, all I see is fighters, which is good. This is good. This is a quick, smooth weigh-ins. I'm starving though. Cue the jokes.
Next up in the heavyweight division, Chris Daukus.
Chris Daukus coming out now. So this is a 3-round bout against Rodrigo Nascimento. Who skipped leg day? Don't know who.
$227 for Chris Daukus.
227 for Chris Daukus.
Next up in the featherweight division, Giga Chikadze.
Giga Jikatsi coming through. His third fight on the prelims. 3-round bout against Omar Morales, who we just saw earlier, weighing in. This one should be an absolute thrasher of a fight. This might be so far my personal favorite card from the past 2 weeks. You guys got Omar by TKO. Interesting. Giga Jikatsi is an absolute animal. 146.
146 for Giga Chikadze.
And he's doing the 5 seconds for the 5-second lady. Okay, I think that's Tracy Cortez in the door. Jamie. Yeah, that's definitely
Next
Tracy.
fights to the scale, the women's bantamweight division. Tracy Cortez.
Tracy coming out fighting Stephanie Edgar. I was watching her stories earlier. She was cutting weight for a while.
$136 for Tracy Cortez.
136 for Tracy. When I was at the UFC PI, I managed to get some cool footage of her rolling with Elise Anderson. She's very good on the ground.
Moving on to the middleweight division, Marcus Perez.
So Marcus Perez now coming out. Marcus is fighting Dricus Depressis. Got them sunglasses on. This guy's a cool guy as well. He was funny in the weigh-ins. He reminds me of the guy from Jackass. What's his name? He was in Wild
186
Boys.
for Marcus Perez.
He looks like the guy from Wild Boys. What's his name? Do you guys remember from Jackass? That girl's name was Tracy Cortez. Women's bantamweight. She fights Stephanie Edgar. Party boy. Yes, Connor. Chris Pontius.
Next up in the heavyweight division, Rodrigo Nascimento.
Oh man, it is. That's it. It's Chris Pontius. He's with Conan Silveira. This guy has a Chris Pontius. Very funny. Party boy with the thong at weigh-ins. I don't know why that just came to me. That's great though.
265 for Rodrigo Nascimento.
265 for Rodrigo Nascimento. I believe he's fighting out of American Top Team in Florida. Conan Silveira, his coach, which we'll just see in a second as Jamie pans over. Amanda Nunes, his coach. If you're interested in knowing more about Conan Silveira, there's a great podcast with Dan and Conan that we put out on Full Reptile. Very, very, very interesting podcast. Very philosophical. What is going wrong? Very philosophical podcast. There we go. Thanks, Elliot. Nice one, Limat. You boys are sound as well. Appreciate it. Is that Tyrone Woodley at the door? No. Oh, Dan's mic isn't working. Technical errors. Dan's gonna have to yell. Makwan Amirkhani. So Makwan Amirkhani fights Edson Barboza in the co-main event. Now, come on, guys. That is a fight. I mean, they're all fights, aren't they? But that is a fight. So Makwan stepping on the scale. Featherweight bout. I gotta say,
146 for Makwan Amir Khani.
146 for Makwan Amir Khani. I gotta say though quickly that Makwan's tattoos, some of my personal favorites. I mean, I genuinely don't even know what they are, but as patches, they look cool. Cool placement. I like them a lot. Who do you think's got the best tats in the UFC? You can't say me, obviously. No Kavanagh, no John. John Kavanagh not here. Not sure why that is, probably at Bellator. Yeah, they're cool tats, right? I am speaking my mind, you cheeky mother. Everybody, am I not speaking my mind or something? Best tattoo, Brock Lesnar. The hammer. To be fair, that gets a lot of hate, but I don't mind that. It's a little bit like what's his name, Thiago Santos. I like the placement of that as well, but you've got to be hench to rock that. I couldn't rock that. So it seems we're in a little bit of a pause situation now. Jamie's fallen asleep, I think. Yeah, just do something. So we're panning across the media room now. As you can see, it's actually quite busy today, and this is actually not busy. This is it not busy. For Khabib Gaethje, this place is gonna be just a swamp. Point to the 5 second okay, Jamie, pan back out to the media room, but stop. Right. Don't know how to do this because, okay, get me in shot as well so I can explain. Alright, here I am, everybody. So 5 second lady is the woman in the black shirt next to the blue shirt. What lady? Next to me. And then behind 5 second lady is Superman. I'm worried they can hear me. Not that it would matter, eh? Yeah, it's shiny. It is shiny, isn't it? It's very shiny. My head is shining. There we go. It's a shiny man. This is real-time creeping. Superman. So, Jamie, show him where the food is. So down there is where we get our goods. They're pretty decent as well, you know, they are genuinely quite decent, but they've been like pots of hummus, we've had quesadillas from there. Thank you, K-Select. Appreciate that, my G. Bold head, but great beard. Hey, thank you. This is the content you want. Good man. This is the content we want
by.
to. So, Dan saying stand by. Somebody at the door, I believe. I'm trying to see who that is. James is zooming in on him. I can't quite tell.
Next fight for the scale in the featherweight division, Ilia Topuria.
Ooh, Ilia Topuria coming in. He's fighting Yusuf Zalal. Tyrone's tired. He is tired, man. That guy. I feel for this guy. Feel for Tyrone. And I bet this Tyrone could rap better as well. Genuinely. You need a hat, mate. Oi. It's alright. I can take it. I can take it, as I'm sure you've been able to tell.
146 for Ilia Topuria.
146 for Ilia Topuria. You can bring on all the banter in the world, lads. It's all good. Falling in and out of love with you. Stop whispering. My nan can't hear. She got her AIDS on Max. Well, that's a brilliant comment. This dude looks ready. He is ready. Hi, Adam. If you're giving me banter, you better not lick Dan's ass when he starts sitting down. Right? We've got to spread this banter out.
Next to the scale, the other half of your co-main event, Edson Barbosa.
Edson Barbosa coming out. Here we go. Oof, look at this. Look at that. Jesus. Looks like me. Wow. So Edson's fighting Makwan Amiakani, and Edson looks in shape. I don't know how much different he'll look on fight day.
145.5 for Edson Barbosa.
145.5 from Edson Barbosa. That's right, Mystic Sosa. I'm so grateful that I can grow somewhat of a beard, because otherwise I'd look like Gollum. I mean, you could argue I do still look like Gollum.
Everybody hold fire. We're waiting on a couple more.
Right, we're holding fire, so Dan's about to come in now. Oh, no, he's not. I'm not sure what Dan's doing. But so far, from what I can tell, we are missing Marcin Tabora, Alan Badu, Baudo, Tony Kelly. I don't think we've seen Tony Kelly.
Yeah, we have.
Okay, we've seen Tony Kelly, my bad. We haven't seen Ali Al-Quilis.
Go on, and again. Go on.
Ali Al-Quilis.
No.
Ali Al. Why is this so hard to read, man? It's like 4 letters.
That's what I'm saying. It is.
Ali Al-Quasi. What is it, bro?
Kaisi.
Cool.
I'm standing there, the air conditioning unit's blowing my hat off. I feel it slowly sliding down the back of my head.
Been getting some good comments, man. Jamie zoomed in on my shiny hair. That went down well.
Needs his own Instagram account. Did you see that fly that landed on Mike Pence's head's got an Instagram account?
Oh, he's got an Instagram account.
Yeah. Someone started an Instagram account for it.
A legend fly.
One bus has just pulled up, which will be probably Marcin Tabora coming up next.
One bus? So one
yeah,
bus
they're
can
shuttling
travel
the fighters
one...
back and forth because the fighters are cutting weight at the hotel, which is obviously like 2 minutes away.
Sure.
So as soon as they're on weight at the hotel, they put them on the bus and bring them over to get on the scales here. So what we got?
Do they not? I'd have thought they all had to be ready at the exact same time, get on the exact same coach. Why isn't that?
There's a 2-hour window for them to weigh in. And that's how it used to be. Like the afternoon weigh-ins, we would all have to be ready in at the scales for... It was 4 o'clock usually was the normal time. But now they do the morning weigh-ins. Oh. No, Don't need me yet. Okay.
So we've got a bus pulling up at the moment, and I believe there'll be a few more fighters on that bus. So they should be rocking up any time.
Making gains. Saw the sweet Venezuelan food I've been eating that Veronica's been cooking.
Oh
you
man,
boys know, it's ridiculous,
yeah,
isn't
it's crazy. That
Ridiculous.
marshmallow thing she made looks well nice. I haven't tried that yet though. She said
it's
she's
the,
made us some nice food though.
Heard,
Yeah.
yeah, I've heard. There's
Yeah.
yeah, we got one.
It's Tabora.
Back in a moment.
I think this is Marshin Tabora.
Stand by.
Dan's on them picked.
Next to the scale in the heavyweight division,
Yeah,
Martin
tell him that.
Zamora.
Need to remember your name, Mystic Souza. Mr. H 1992.
263 for Martin Tabora.
263 for Martin Tabora. Beast. Look at that guy. There's Pavel. Jamie's just going to get Pavel. This is the Polish GOAT manager.
We're just waiting on 2 fighters, so
2 more
Maybe
fighters
mention.
left. And then we have the face-offs. So, can any of you guys guess who's been in the stream the whole time? Tell me who you think's missing. This will be top points, man, if you get that.
Pavel, trying to get out of the way of the cameras quick.
Yeah, I got him in. Or Jamie got him in. I gave him a little intro. The Polish GOAT manager. That doesn't sound right, actually, does it? Sounds like he manages a herd of goats.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're called shepherds. So what fights are people looking forward to then?
It seems like a lot of people are looking forward to Marlon.
I wish to welcome back Rumble. What was the UFC worth? 4.3 billion, I think. Is he coming back at heavyweight, Rumble Johnson?
I don't know, but he's got to be careful now. The Me Too movement's out. Have you seen his videos?
No.
They're hilarious.
Are they?
Yeah, with Karen Bryant and stuff.
Oh no, I ain't seen them.
Yeah,
No, I ain't
yeah.
seen
They're
them.
old. They're old in like.
Are
It
they?
gets. Well, yeah.
He's hilarious, Rumble
He is,
Johnson.
man.
is.
He's absolutely hilarious.
You know, after he knocked out Gustafsson, I bumped into him in the hotel afterwards in the reception, and I just went up and I said, "Dude, I'm glad you didn't do that to me." And he went, "I like you." Oh, thank God for that. He's a scary individual.
Yeah, he is. He's got good sense of humour,
Yes,
though, man.
yeah. Dude hit me with a kick in the first round, and I blocked it, and it still knocked me off my feet. It was like, it was literally like someone had like swung a tree trunk at me. It was massive. He's incredibly powerful.
I've just
Terrifying
realised I'm on
individual.
about the wrong guy.
Oh,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
complete sense from your reaction
Yeah,
earlier.
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I was on about Rampage Jackson.
Yeah. I was gonna say he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
He's like 56 now.
I mean, it's crazy that you even fought Rumble.
Oh, that's Rampage. I used to train with Rampage as well.
Did you actually?
He's hilarious.
I know.
He's
yeah,
hilarious,
He's
yeah.
he's very.
He used to
funny.
mess with everybody at the gym. Everybody. Especially Matt Horwich, because Matt Horwich is a very interesting individual. I mean, he's definitely way down the spectrum, and he's a fascinating dude to talk to if you get him on his right subject. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, quantum physics, or the Bible. They're his 3 things. If you get him on any of those things, he'll talk forever, and he's a deep and fascinating guy.
Isn't there a bit of a contradiction there?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But he is a contradiction in himself.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a fighter, and he comes to the octagon holding a Bible and pointing at it. Yeah. He fought in Birmingham once, and Mike Tyson refereed the fight.
What?
Yeah. Mike Tyson's refereed a couple of MMA fights, and it was. I'm sure that's right.
Very
Someone's
cool.
going to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure
Nah.
that's correct. Yeah, hilarious. He's really interesting
That's
to see
somebody
those
I
two
would like
together.
to do an interview with.
Who? Rampage. Yeah. He'd slap you.
It'd be
He'd slap
funny.
you. You got to. I'll show you Rampage Unchained, the documentary when he was fighting in Japan.
Oh,
Mate,
awesome.
there's some comedy in that.
I bet.
There's a bit where he's in like a big sports store in Japan, and he's looking for a cup, like a growing guard, and he's trying to explain to this poor little girl who's working. He's like, I've got a tiny penis and big balls. He's like, I need a big cup. I got big balls. It's hilarious. And then he's like lines a bunch of guys up and then sees how far down the line he can get, slapping them all before someone moves.
Yeah, he's a great character.
What's going on there? What questions have we got? I saw someone ask me what I'm wearing. I'm wearing combats so I can blend in with the surroundings.
It's just your legs are invisible when you're up there.
That's
isn't
exactly it. Looks like I'm floating, doesn't it?
Floating torso.
Looks like I'm floating. Yeah, I've been standing in front of that air conditioning unit over there, and my hat keeps sliding off. My head's not made for hats.
Maybe you need it slightly tighter, the hat.
Do you reckon?
I think like one, by one.
I reckon. Let me try it.
Your hair don't. It looks good when out of the hat.
Does it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Are we having a discussion about hair live on?
We are.
Live on YouTube.
Well, they were talking about my head, so I'm gonna turn it on to you now.
I reckon we
There's
should
700 people watching.
look at that.
That's decent.
I reckon we should tattoo your head. I reckon I could draw all over it, and we should just get it tattooed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon so. What should we draw on Mystery's head?
You can zoom in if you want, Jay.
I reckon we draw a fly on it. draw the Mike Pence fly.
Have you got a pen?
Yeah, of course I'm holding one. Oh.
Go on then. Draw the.
Would I
Mike
like to see
Pence
Oliveira v Islam Makhachev would be a fantastic fight? Yeah, I would like to see. I'm assuming you talk about Charles Oliveira. I would like to see him with a full training camp going into that fight though, because they need to give a fair account of one another. You know,
might be quite disappointing. I was watching the
Did Mark get fired with a broken shit? Nah. Reptile over. Draw a face on the back. Dude, I was watching a fight last night. I was researching a fight last night. It was Tagir Lambekov, and his opponent had what looked like his own face shaved into his hair in the back.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. If you YouTube it, Tagir Lambekov, it's one of his most recent fights, and his opponent had got like a face shaved in the back of his head. It was really weird, really freaking me out. Draw Gollum on his head.
Mate, there's no need to draw the Gollum. It's already there. I like Avatar tattoo. I was telling, I'm giving all you guys all this ammo anyway. Bloody hell.
Draw a bird turd. If we leave him outside long enough, he'll have a bird turd on his head anyway. Or do you mean what kind of bird? Depends what kind of bird.
Drew a bird turd.
Drew.
Even
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I'm correcting for him. What should the UFC do with Michael Chat? I don't know. I'm just glad he's on the roster now.
Why are you called the Raptors? Mark Goddard, wasn't it?
What?
Mark Goddard, wasn't it? Why are we called the Raptors?
Is that what Mark
someone
Goddard
asked.
said? Is he
Yeah,
in the live stream?
I'm pretty sure we were
Was
in
it?
Cage Warriors, right? And
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, "What are these little fucking raptors?"
They've been Raptors since the beginning.
Yeah.
They're like Velociraptors, you know what I mean? Because it's like the full Reptile collective is the family, and then the Raptors are like the unruly teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, which is what the Raptors are basically. And that was further
Except
confirmed.
for 30 years old.
No one would ever guess that though.
No, they wouldn't.
What's my favourite tattoo? That one needs redoing.
Yeah, that.
I have skull and crossbones on the inside of my bottom lip.
You see, Mike Perry got that recently. Of his missus' name in there.
You get
What's her
Darren
name?
Till's name in there.
That
Yeah.
would have been good. That would have been really good.
Raw dog inside his bottom lip. What did the fighter say to Dan? Which one?
Oh yeah, Yusuf Zalal. You had a little conversation.
Dude,
what were you chatting about?
The dude's a maniac. He was like, so we did fighter meetings earlier this week, and he, like, my first thought to myself is, how has he coped 2 days in quarantine? How has he been locked in a hotel room for 2 days? Because he is like 100 miles an hour all the time. So I'm like, dude, like, what's your heart rate right now? And he's like, oh, I can check. And he pulled it up. And he's like, it's at 115. He's like, his heart rate was 115 sitting on a sofa doing interviews. Like, he's just going all the time.
Wow.
But he explained it. It's some kind of it's some kind of genetic disorder that he got from one side of his parents, which actually means he's got less red blood cells in his body, which means his heart rate is naturally higher. It's really interesting.
So that makes you more like exuberant.
Well, his heart's going much quicker. But like as he was walking down the corridor the other day, I'm like, dude, what's your heart rate now? Right now, like 120. He's like, he's going all the time. He's conditioning.
How do you see that?
it's either, I mean, Ilia Topuria is going to try and come out and choke him quickly. Like, if you look at Ilia's fights, he's a fast worker. He's been a black belt for about 3 years now, and most of his fights, he just jumps on people and chokes them out. All kinds of DOS, anaconda, guillotine types of chokes. The one thing that people hadn't seen up until a couple of fights ago, I think it was actually his last fight, he took the guy down, attacked his neck a couple of times, and he couldn't finish the choke, ended up knocking him out with one punch. So, I mean, he was talking this week that he definitely wants to try and get the fight finished with a submission, because that's his thing. But the fact that he's got that one punch knockout power, I mean, it's got to give him confidence to throw his hands. And you know, with Youssef Salah, there's got 3 decisions in the UFC. He's desperate for a finish. But we know he's got mad conditioning and a high work rate, so that could be a real scrap for 3 rounds, or it could go either way, to be honest. It is a razor-thin fight, but I know a lot of people are high on Ilia at the moment, and when he was on Cage Warriors against Brian Bolan, it was a fantastic performance. So that's my pick for fight of the night, that one. I think Chikadze Omar Morales is going to be a really good scrap as well, real back and forth.
And Veronica...
yeah, she interviewed him, didn't she?
Yeah,
Although
it's coming out tonight. It's all in Spanish,
yeah.
So if any of you out there can understand Spanish,
I mean, a lot of people can understand Spanish.
I wonder if YouTube turns it into English subtitles.
I have no idea. I think you have to select that, don't you?
Maybe I'll look into it, be worth it.
See if we can do it.
Yeah. What did you think? I know it's quite typical of Edson to come out looking like that, but fucking hell, man, he looked trimmed, didn't he?
Oh, he's shredded.
Waist,
he's shredded, but he was shredded at 155 as well. If anything, I thought he would go up a weight.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot of the guys moving up from 55 to 170. Like, I would look at him and think to myself, I don't know where he loses an extra 10 pounds from to make the weight. And I know he wasn't I say he wasn't massive. He wasn't heavy for a 155er, but he was big and he was lean. I mean, I would have thought he would go up a weight class. What did I think of Dalby's last fight? Yeah, it was disappointing, but he takes these things in his stride. He got married the week after, didn't he as well? Yeah. So he takes these things in his stride.
He's a good dude.
You know, he's been in the UFC in a way and rebuilt himself and come back. It's the top of the sport, man. You know, you can win or lose any day of the week.
So, just to move off.
Impa v Buckley breakdown. I'll give you a quick one on that. I think Impa Kasanganay is going to try and come in and take him down. Buckley's got 10 knockouts on his record, but he's also got 2 losses by knockout. So we might see Impa try and land some shots, but I do think he's going to try and soften him up on the floor first. I think he'll probably try and, I mean, what we've seen from Impa is a good top game, good wrestling game. Good wrestling game, holding people down, beating them up against the fence. He's got a high work rate, he's well conditioned. And he's got a bit of a secret weapon in his corner as well. His dad's here with him, and his dad has been emotional all week just taking this in. It's been quite overwhelming for him.
What have you seen? Have you got anything that you've seen?
Well, when they came into the fighter interviews, Impa came and sat down, and his dad just walked into the room. And obviously, so there's the producer, and John Gunn was on the phone because he was still in quarantine, and it was Felder and Chiesa, and myself and Karen. And as his dad walked in the room, he was just like, oh my, like, you know, that it was all kind of like, it was all set up for his son to come and sit and be interviewed. Was, you know, I just think I think the whole process is overwhelming for him because it's a big production and everything in Fight Island is geared towards these events. For him to be a part of it, you know, it's quite special for his dad.
Yeah, it's very cool. So, just to quickly move off from UFC really quickly, not for too long. Terry Brazier, fighting in France.
Yes.
France legalizing mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Second fight in Paris, isn't there? Was one the other week. One
really?
Last week, was there? I think there was. You know what I think about Terry? He's a monster. The guy he's fighting is very light on his feet. He's got good kicks. He's got a really awkward striking game, very dynamic. But he's got to stay away from Terry. Mm-hmm. He's got to stay away from Terry. Because if Terry gets a hold of him and pull his arms off, Terry's a monster. People don't realise he's not quite scratched his potential yet. And I know he's been putting the work in. I've been chatting with Jimmy, and Jimmy said he's looking very, very good.
Awesome.
And he's got Adam in his corner.
I saw them hitting pads together the other day. Looked really good.
Yeah.
Another one on that card is Mads Bennell who is a personal favourite of mine.
Big fan of Mads.
Yeah.
Big fan of Mads. Hell of a boxer. Really, really good neck attack submissions.
It's a shame
Really-
he's not here still.
Yeah, really should have stayed in the UFC. Really shouldn't have been released, in my opinion.
So,
But that's the way it goes.
yep.
It's dog eat dog. What's going on here? What fight am I looking forward to? What fight am I looking forward to in 2020? Fight 2020.
What do you think to Poirier McGregor?
I'm excited for it. I was disappointed when there were rumblings that it was going to happen as some kind of exhibition outside of the UFC. I mean, that's the fight for McGregor at 155. It's the one that makes sense, given the fact that they fought at 145. That was right before Poirier moved up to 155, and has looked better ever since. I mean, he was good at 145. He's a legit contender at 155. And for McGregor to come back, if McGregor beats him at 155, puts him right back up the top of the pile again.
Yeah.
And that's the fight that sells, as much as we know. I mean, if Khabib's able to beat Gaethje and hold on to his belt and stay undefeated, another fight with McGregor's big money. Big money. But McGregor needs to step on the scales at 155 and beat a contender in order to be deserving of it, in my opinion. Like fighting at 170 against Cowboy. I mean, Cowboy's a good fighter, but he was always just outside that contender pool. And what I say. I'm always a fan of people stepping on the scales at championship weight if they're going to fight for a title.
For sure.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say McGregor's going to be fighting a completely different Dustin Poirier, though.
Yeah.
Mentally more so as well.
Yeah.
Well, not more so, to be fair, but as equal too.
Yeah. But then that pressure from losing the previous fight, and McGregor reminds you of it every time you see him. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. Poirier's a very emotional fighter, and he's got to keep hold of that if he's fighting McGregor, because that's 50% of McGregor's game. He's getting inside people's heads. Keep seeing Carlos Condit's name popping up on here. He looked great at the week. Really good. November, December pay-per-view needs some spice. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get... If we get that McGregor-Poirier fight on there, that's big. Does GSP shut Khabib's takedowns? Maybe. It depends what GSP looks like at 155. If Khabib goes up to welterweight, I would say that GSP beats him. But I would say if GSP's cut into 155, that puts me in Khabib's camp, just purely because he's more accustomed to that weight. He can keep a high pace, and there's big gaps between GSP's fights, and so for him to go up to 185 and win the belt, and then go all the way back down to 155, it's got to take something out of his body. For
sure. And to play devil's advocate with you there a little bit, what do you say to the people that say GSP is possibly getting too old now to be fighting someone like Khabib in his pinnacle?
Yeah, the thing with age, and there's a benefit to age because experience comes with it, and with experience comes decision making. And there are two different types of fighters that you can be. The difference with, think Roy Jones, for example. Roy Jones was slick back in the day, but then all of a sudden there was a drop-off because his style was based on his reaction time, his speed, and that's the one thing that gives. That's the first thing that goes when you get old. You don't move quite as fast, you don't react quite as fast. GSP's game wasn't built around his reaction times, it was built around his decision making. So that's the one thing that lasts, and that's what we see in the heavyweight division. That's why guys like Alistair Overeem are still, floating around and very competitive, is because they know how to make good decisions. And it doesn't always work, especially when you're fighting Rosenstrike. But he'd spent 25 minutes, beating Rosenstrike until he got clipped.
Exactly. Yeah.
The heavyweights, for some reason, the older heavyweights seem to do a lot better. And I think that is down to decision making. And then if I look at styles, GSP's style is about decision making and not speed, reaction times. He's not slipping punches and stuff. He's setting takedowns up with his own strikes and then grounding the fight. Different kind of approach.
For sure. Heavyweight's like a unique division as well on its own, isn't it? It's very wide open as well.
Yeah.
Speaking to Tom Aspinall about that as well, asking him how far away does he see himself from having a title shot, and he said he could probably do it now, but what he's looking for is the experience, which he says he doesn't have openly. And I asked him how much years experience would he need, and he said 5 years. was quite surprised by that. What do you think of that as for the heavyweights?
Yeah, I like his patience, and the thing that you got to bear in mind is if you jump straight up and start fighting top 5 guys, you don't get top 15 guys after that. Like think of Volkan Özdemir, right? He came in short notice to face OSP in his UFC debut, and he's never had an easy fight since.
Yeah.
Every single person's top 10. Everyone's a killer. And that'd be the case if Tom Aspinall started to jump up the division pretty quickly. If he found himself in the top 5, top 10, mixing it up with those guys, you don't get the experience that you need. And the problem that Tom had outside the UFC was getting opponents. You know, I mean, he was running through guys. So like finding training partners, finding opponents for him is very difficult. So he has to do some of his learning actually on the job in the fights. And if you accelerate these young fighters too quickly, then they just don't get those learning experiences which pay dividends later in their career.
Definitely.
There's a young crop of heavyweights right now. I mean, we've just seen Tanabosa in here with KB Bulla, and he's another one of the top prospects right now as well. And we can take our time with these guys and start mixing them up a little bit. And I mean, what we got on this card, we've got Chris Daukaus against Rogerio Nascimento. Like, Nascimento's been subbing most of the guys he's been fighting on the way to the UFC. He's won 2 UFC fights by submission now, and now he's fighting Chris Daukaus, who's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but Daukaus prefers to strike. He's got wicked fast hands. He's got great boxing, as we saw in his last fight against, I can't remember the guy's name now. Parker Porter.
I'm not sure.
It's 2 P's. It's something like that. I'm sure it's Parker Porter. But wicked fast hands in that fight, really good boxing, and he's not really had to use his jiu-jitsu skills yet. So then, he might be forced to use him in this fight, but then he stepped on the scales at 227 today. I even looked over at the commission checking the scales. I was like, 227, is that right? Like, he's lighter than Stipe, and I feel like he's got some excess that he could lose if he wanted to go down to 205. But then he's mixing it up with guys that are also quite fast. So there we go. Parker Porter. There we go. I've not been punched in the head too much. I do remember some stuff.
So Nascimento, is he fighting at American top team in Florida?
I believe he is. Yeah.
So good place to train.
Good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Really, really good skills. Talented fighter, and he weighed in at 265. So if the fight does end up on the floor and he ends up on top, that's going to be a big person to move for Chris Daukaus. But I would like to see him test his black belt as well. Another interesting thing, I had a conversation with him in the fighter meetings. Chris Daukaus is talking about how he'd like to then start moving his MMA skills over into the police force, because he's a police officer in Philadelphia, and he's kind of looking at what they're doing and training up the police officers and thinking to himself, this could be a lot better than it is. And obviously in the current climate, with that being a hot topic right now, I think Chris Daukaus earning his respect in the UFC, but also being able to transfer that over to coaching the police force would be amazing.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that hasn't been brought up before with Jeraine Durandame.
Yeah, but the difference with her is she's a Thai boxer. You can't go wading in with elbows and knees when you're arresting people.
You're right, mate. Yeah.
But Chris Daukaus with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, I just think there's so much that we're learning about MMA, and so many things that we can learn about controlling and restraining people without putting anybody in any physical danger. That's where the benefit in mixed martial arts crosses over into the real world.
Definitely. So we've got two more fighters coming through, and then we got the face-offs.
That's it.
So is there anyone on here that you think might have a fiery face-off that we can look forward to?
I think there's a Lal Topuria one's going to be a fiery one. Let me see.
I reckon the Tracy Cortez one might be a little bit. I'm not sure. I feel like she's.
I watched her whole career last night. I sat and watched them in order, all the way through. Because she lost her pro debut in Invicta, and she was winning that fight. And she busted her opponent's nose pretty good, and she was on her way to winning that fight and got caught in a guillotine, and that was her first loss of her career, but also her last. And since then, she's just improved. But she's fighting Stephanie Edgar, who won the European ADCC trials in Poznan. She drove from Switzerland to Poland to compete and took gold.
Wow.
And her only loss on her record's a split decision against someone that was a good striker, a heavy pressure striker. So I would be interested to see how they're going to approach each other, because I kind of feel like Stephanie wants to prove her striking skills, but then Tracy Cortez likes to grapple.
Yep.
So she might one might play into the hands of the other,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Definitely. When we were at the UFC PI, we got to see Tracy rolling with what's her name, Elise Anderson, and she did look really, really good on the ground. She looked like she's getting much more comfortable there.
Yeah. She's got strong control. She's got really strong control. Back in 1 second.
No worries. How are we doing, everyone? Are you enjoying the show? Let us know if you're enjoying this, and if we could improve on anything, let us know. Claudio Hannibal Silva. That guy is a G. He's landing out here soon. He's actually fighting next week, I believe. Well, he's on next week's card. He lands today, in fact, and he'll be out of quarantine on Sunday. So we'll be doing some content with the Hannibal. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Any constructive criticism, always welcome, though. As long as it's said in the right way. Not, oi, bold cunt, do this. What food's over there? If there's any hummus or any of that. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. I was never actually supposed to ever come in front of the camera. I was always wanted to stay behind it, but being around Dan has motivated me to give some of these, give it a go, I guess. So, appreciate everyone's feedback. Look behind you. I don't need to look behind me, because I can see behind me. Thank you, Dominic. Appreciate that, bruv. Go grab. I am, mate. Jamie's just gone to go get me some food. Nathaniel Wood and Casey Kenny. Damn, that's a good one. Obviously, Casey's just fought, hasn't he? And he looked like a monster.
Almost some bread?
Yeah, boy. Is there any rolls instead of bread?
They've only got the pitta. I'll go and ask for you.
Yeah,
Rolls.
nice one. Yeah. Well, I'll take whatever in it, bro. Oi, oi. Look at this. Hummus. And some pitta. Wee, it's Wad. Waddy. Nice to see you, Wad. So, I think Dan's being pulled out all over the place. I think he's going to sit down now, though. For 5 or so minutes.
There's no
We'll see.
rolls, sorry.
There's no rolls. No worries. No rolls, no worries. So, if you want to... I'll do this in a bit, actually, because Dan's going to come over. Appreciate it, mate. Oh, I ain't worried, man. I am not worried. Just, yes. Look who's here, Dan.
Who's here? Wad! Waddly dog. How are you, my friend? He's moving house. He's moving to the Badlands.
He is.
That's it. The whole collective are gathering and take over.
Take over the world.
Okay. You got any good questions? Anything I've missed?
No, not really. I've just been filling people in, asking if there's anything we can improve on or for next time, and everyone's saying we're doing a good job, so that's quite nice of them. Showing them the food that we've got here, some hummus.
Food's amazing.
It is great, isn't it?
Yeah. I have yet to eat today. but I'm going to. No, I'm all good. I'm going to eat in a little while. I went for a run this morning. I've been trying to hydrate since. I could step out the hotel and I lose 10 pounds.
Your hotel's got some nice food to be.
It has.
I'm not gonna say it. Your hotel has got some nice food.
Yeah, you got to be fair. This is the To Be Fair podcast.
To be fair, to be honest.
To be sure, to be fair.
To be sure. Great show.
Twitchy. Who's Twitchy Superman?
No, I made a joke earlier because they were asking, who's the 5-second lady? Who's the 5-second lady? You know who the 5-second lady is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted pointing out.
Right.
And the only way I could point them out was to, and luckily there was just some guy in a Superman t-shirt.
I see. I thought I was the guy with the Superman t-shirt on. Dan, in your opinion? Oh, in my opinion, well,
Are
maybe.
you the
Rogan's
new
a
Joe
legend,
Rogan
though, isn't
of
he?
MMA?
Rogan's a legend.
Yeah.
It's always good to see him there.
Yeah, it's a shame he's
Why
kind
do
of
you
like...
look like my evil twin?
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what they're talking about.
I don't know about
It's
that.
more like that episode of Family Guy where Stewie clones himself and he's got bitch Stewie.
Oh, man. There's some funny ones.
I could do with a clone.
I think when I was watching the Chiesa video premiere, somebody was saying, like, who shrunk and gave Dan AIDS or something.
Driscoll's bad weight cut? I don't think so. He was the first on the scales. I think he looked good to me.
He's looked good all
And
fight.
the other thing as well is he was a welterweight back in the day. So no, I reckon he looked good. He looked sharp. He looked healthy. Excited for that one. Dricus du Plessis is a very, very good fighter. Good K1 background. Good judo. Double champ at EFC. And he was talking about he was supposed to go up to light heavyweight. Look at him shoveling food in his face, eh? All these fighters weighing in and this one's trying to gain some. Oh yeah, MVP's fighting this weekend as well, isn't he? I don't know much about his opponent. I've not.
Yeah, you
looked
do.
into- Do I?
Ross Houston.
Oh, of course it's Ross Houston, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Oh, Ross is a scrapper. Oh, I remember that now because when Ross posted a photo the other day. Last time he was in Paris, he was working. He was laying pipelines and stuff. Yeah,
That's great.
If anybody's not watched Nicholas Dalby against Ross Houston Cage Warriors, go and watch that fight. I mean, oftentimes fights get stopped because of cuts, because of blood, but not because the fighters can't stand up because it's so slippy.
Even Mark Goddard was falling over.
Blood
wasn't
angels, blood angels.
He? God, I would have paid tons of money to see him slip.
Slip and land in the blood. All good. Do I think Conor? Yeah, I think that fight's going to be booked for December. Yeah. Multiple referees. Yeah, the conversation after Listen continued with Mark, and that was something that he suggested because I was talking about the button for the judges, and I get his point. You know, the judges are not qualified to referee, but someone's sitting outside to help notify the referee. And he was talking about what is the other? Yeah, the other. Is it NFL?
Yeah, I think so.
The referee has the strap around their arm that vibrates for them to stop the. I think that's a good idea. We need something in place.
Yeah.
We definitely need something in place.
I think the smartest idea is 2 refs, but one sat outside the
One
cage.
sat outside with the screen, so we can immediately. Because I have the replays immediately after me. I have 3 screens in front of me because I always want the stats as well. So I have a stats screen. I have the regular sort of feed that everybody else is seeing, and then I have another screen which basically, if ever I want to, I can hit a button and go, will you quick show me that elbow again, or will you show me, was that a clash of heads or whatever, and they'll play it through in the screen so I can see what's going on.
I'd love to actually sit down with you and like film what it looks like from the commentator's perspective, because I got the chance to see casually the other day. It looked really interesting.
Okay,
Cool.
just the one. What are you saying?
I was just saying that your screens, like, especially since COVID started, you've got like the whole setup just looks really interesting.
Yeah,
I'd
man.
love to video it,
Oh, it's
speak to
wicked.
you about what all these components do, how you have to be engaged in this whilst looking at this and talking. It looks fascinating.
Yeah. It is. It's
And then you've got to stand up and turn around to the lights and do you. Well, you don't
yeah,
have to
we're
do
not
that
anymore. We're in Octagon now.
That's right.
UFC Lego set. That'd be amazing. I could probably design that.
I'm surprised they haven't done that already.
I wanted to work for Lego. Before I was a fighter, I wanted to work for Lego.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you? What did you
that was my
expect
plan.
us to be? Like, if you were to look at us and think, like, what would you imagine as? Because I wouldn't have thought you'd be Lego.
No?
Nah.
What would I be?
I don't know. I think you'd be like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was doing that for a bit before I crossed over full time to fighting. I'd probably been a tattoo artist though. To be
That's
fair,
quite cool.
To be fair.
Mm.
To be fair. I'm gonna go and announce.
All right,
somebody.
cool, bro.
I think they're coming up here. I'll wait till
Someone
I
in
can
a
see 'em.
Barcelona shirt.
I'll wait till I can see
Is
'em.
there any Spanish people in this?
Yeah, Ilya. Georgian with
yeah,
a Spanish
UFC,
background. Oh, wait, he's the guy that does all the awesome photos of the fighters. All the awesome profile photos that go on the website and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah. And he's been doing it for years as well.
The ones that get put on like Getty Images and,
Yeah.
and that, yeah.
Yeah, I want when I was at school, I wanted to work for Lego, which is why I did art, graphic design, and mathematics for A level.
Cool. So you wanted to be like in there, like coming up with
building
concepts
sets every day,
and-
man. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
that's quite
I could
cool
do that
job.
all day. I could do that all day. But
I
probably a tattoo artist. I'd have probably given a punk band a good go as well, because I was in a few bands back in the day before I kind of crossed over full time to MMA. But I always I liked being on stage. I liked performing. It was always a good space for me.
I've never ever done it.
Like a security at a strip club.
So hard.
I don't know what qualifies me for that.
It's probably the all black and the just
Maybe.
tag.
Funny, back in the day, half of the heavyweights in the UFC were security at strip clubs.
Were they?
Yeah.
That doesn't
And
surprise
that
me.
skinny bouncer. You got to watch the skinny ones though. You know.
Dan Hardy's. That's.
You get all
You're
the.
not skinny.
Well, that's why I keep you around, so I look bigger. Oh, they're ready for me.
Awesome. See you in a sec, buddy. Right, I can eat a little bit of food now because Dan's got misophonia. Oh.
Stand by. Next fights to the scale in the heavyweight division. Alan Badeau.
Alan Badeau coming in. He's fighting Tom Aspinall. Looking good up there. 5 seconds surely up.
254 for Alan Badeau.
254 for Alan Badeau. Once again, Alan's fighting Tom Aspinall in a 3-round heavyweight bout. This should be a good one. Who do you guys have for this? This guy's going to upset Aspinall, maybe. Well, anything can happen, can't it? But I personally doubt it.
Just waiting on one guy. Back with you soon.
So we'll be waiting on one more guy, and then it's the face-offs. That's quite interesting, actually. I'm going to have to ask Dan about that, because one thing that I've just thought about is, say, for example, I weighed in straight away. Am I just sat around waiting all day for the last person to weigh in so I can face off? Because that would irritate me. You had Jurgen. Yeah, we did. No, I didn't. No, we didn't. I didn't, anyway. Neither did Dan.
Ali Al-Qaisi is the last one to weigh in. He's a bantamweight. Me v Ariel, who would win? Is that a serious question?
No.
Can't be right. Can't.
Now, me v Ariel.
Just because someone talks a lot about MMA doesn't mean they know what they're talking about.
Joking.
has done.
Sad.
Yeah.
Look at all the asleep sheep in the chat. Bold, Dude, and Hardy on this podcast with Goddard. God, it's giving me a headache to try and read that. So, shall I introduce you to someone who apparently kicked my ass? Here she is. Apparently, she kicked my ass at jiu-jitsu. But I'm telling them that apparently she kicked my ass. Now she's kicking off at me. Not apparently. No, apparently she did. She kicked my ass. Right, okay. She's good at jiu-jitsu, but she doesn't half like a compliment. I think that Raptor is a wonderful addition to full Reptile team. Slap her, she's talking shit. No, she's not talking too much shit, to be fair. You know. No, we had a good time. Here she is. Introduce yourself.
I'm the one who kicked his ass, so that's me. I don't even need to say my name, right?
Why not?
Because that's
Why
how
you-
people should know me.
Why you look like getting embarrassed? You're not embarrassed, are
He
you?
told me to sit here, so here I am.
Yeah, no, you can sit here. You're more than welcome. So yeah, we had the jiu-jitsu. Well, I haven't rolled for like a long time.
Excuse number one. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna get in some excuses for sure.
He has a list.
I do. Pick a number and I'll read one.
Number 5.
Okay. So I haven't rolled. I haven't rolled for a very, very long time, right? And you are good. You are good. You're very good. But she doesn't half chat about. I rolled with Cole, dude. Garbrandt. I rolled with Steve.
I train at the same gym, but the
Team
thing
Alpha
is,
male, she is.
yes, but
But she's genuinely loves rolling. You can see it in her.
But-
Like, every day she's like, "Are we rolling? Are we rolling?"
the problem is we got two very competitive people
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So that was interesting.
It was good, man. I enjoyed it, and
me
you did
too.
really well.
We're gonna do it tomorrow.
We
right?
will, yeah. We'll do
Again,
it.
10
We'll do
a.m.
it.
I
Sure.
talked to Mark.
Sure, let's do it. Mark gonna ref it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mark's gonna ref it. Stop!
Listen.
Listen! Stop! Yeah, it was fun.
So how are you enjoying the weigh-ins?
Doing well, taking some pictures. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So who are you working for?
AG Fight is a website in Brazil.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
And you're from Brazil?
I'm from Brazil.
Living in
you can
Sacramento.
Tell my accent.
And living in Sacramento,
Living
right?
in Sacramento, California.
Why did you pick Sacramento? Because of Team Alpha Male?
No. I joined a team. I didn't join the team. I joined the gym last year. I was already living there, so yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah, sometimes I have a hard time to understand this British accent.
Do you?
Yeah, he told me today about the bread and butter. And I was like, is that bread and butter?
It's bread and butter. Butter.
So
How do you say it?
Bread and butter.
Bread and butter.
Okay, English is not my first language, so
No,
give
that
me
was
a
good.
break.
That was good. That was
But-
good American. I was
Bread and
just
butter.
doing
But
an American.
he was like, bread and butter. I'm like, what is that? Butter? I'm like, butter.
Butter.
Yeah, so I'm learning. It's
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a good time.
What did I say the other day that you were like, what's that?
Water.
Water. Yeah.
Water.
Can I have some water? Water.
So yeah. Yeah, so maybe tomorrow, here's the thing, we should film it.
Mhm.
So then I can prove who taps.
But what's gonna happen if you lose, though?
I'm not gonna lose.
But what happens if you're
No,
gonna
it's
lose?
not gonna happen.
Says who?
It's not gonna happen.
You said that no one could pass your guard, and I passed
The
it.
thing is, okay, you passed once.
But I passed it.
We rolled like 5 times. He passed my my guard once. So don't worry.
It's only
I'm
banner
not worried.
anyway.
Are you worried?
No.
I'm not at all.
It's a good laugh, man. I enjoy it.
Good luck tomorrow.
You too.
All right, I'm gonna get back to it.
How we doing, guys? Less of them simp comments, yeah? And them incel ones. We're Chads over here, yeah? Simp. Very funny. Who's retarded? British simp god. I mean, at least it's funny. I'll give you that, boys. Got that big simp energy. Nah, it's a good laugh, man. Genuinely, it's a good laugh. And jiu-jitsu is great. Do any of you guys roll? I bet none of you even roll, do you? That are calling me simp. Aaron. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying this. Are you enjoying this, actually? Because I am assuming right now. I can't wait to get home and have some of that miles. Oh my gosh. My dreams have been wild. Fucking chill with the hummus. Chill with the comment, Joey. Okay, now 1 minute everyone's telling me I need to eat, and now I'm eating and he's telling me not to eat. Fave food? Probably Indian food. For me, anyway. I mean, just to give you a little update, by the way, we've got one more person coming in case you guys aren't aware of what's going on. If anyone's just joined, we've got one more person coming in. And then we'll have the face-offs, and then Uncle Dana will be arriving from somewhere, I don't know where. Carl Gurr. That is... That is just... I'm just upset now. Indian food is good, man. Come on. Proper Indian food. Not like chicken tikka or some fucking korma. None of that. Talking proper Indian food. Yeah. Have you guys seen like Dana getting his chefs to make him like fast food like exclusives? It's crazy. Well, I do like Dana though. I look like Scrim from Suicide Boys. I have to Google that, but I mean, I can already imagine.
Hi, how are you?
Hang on, let me just hide this weird lad. Hide user, put user in timeout. You been timed out, mate. Yeah, that's right, Gabrielle. Dana makes his chef do Cheetos mac and cheese. Like, the dude could have anything he wants in the world, and he's chosen Cheetos mac and cheese. I mean, whatever floats your boat, man. Breeze has already showed up and weighed in on weight. He's blocking Simp. Yeah, damn right. What you on about, Joey? I don't even know who Eddie. Who's Eddie? Yeah, Indian food in Leicester is actually, that's where it's at. That is definitely where it's at. Right. I bet you any money when Dan sits down is going to comment at how my greasy fight night paper is now greasy. So I'm not sure what's going on. We're just waiting for one guy. Who are we waiting for, Jamie? Who are we waiting for? Ah, yeah. Ali Al-Quas. Oh my god, it's the one guy that I can't pronounce.
Ali Al-Casey? Pretty sure.
Ali Al-Casey. I don't know about that. I mean, each to their own. Al-Quasi. Al-Quasi. Ali Al-Quasi. Jamie's shook. Oops. Ali Al-Queso. Nah, none of these are right, lads. Ali Al-Quesadilla. Have you tripped with only getting in his front door? Easy, bruv. How you doing, mate? Good, thank you. Keeping my fans.
Have a seat. Thanks very much. Join the stream.
Happily.
The other guy's on his way.
Okay.
Nice. So who are we waiting for? Do you know?
We're waiting for a heavyweight.
I'm testing you here. Well, I think we're waiting for a bantamweight.
Are we? I thought we were waiting for a heavyweight. There you go. I'm very tired.
I was going to ask.
That's not a great sign. If you're waiting for a heavyweight, that usually means they've just woken up. But if you're waiting for a bantamweight, usually means there's a few pounds big shed.
Yeah. I ran this morning at 6 a.m. and when I was getting back to the hotel, he was already starting his weight cut.
Really?
Damn.
Curious to ask your opinion, Dan. In a hot climate with humidity, would it be beneficial to work out outside to try and shed more sweat?
I think so.
I think when Felder fought here against Barbosa, he told me that he actually just cut his weight on his balcony.
Yeah.
Do we like the Mac life?
Is getting hydrated after you weigh in.
Right.
That's the challenge.
But they've got the PI here, right? So
This
the
is
PI managed
Oscar.
them, so
Oscar from the Mac life.
That's why you see all these guys coming with the bottles that say Thorn down the side.
perks of the job.
So I was asking Dan this question, I'll ask it you as well. Out of all of these bouts on this piece of paper, which one do you think is going to have the most fiery face-off?
Youssef Zalal. I think to be honest, like Marlon and Corey are going to be borderline too cordial. But I think Youssef has a bit of spirit to him. It's funny, I actually saw him at the beach and he'd crashed with jet ski. Maybe I shouldn't tell this story.
Oh,
But
he
had to fork some money out.
With Roy Val,
yeah, it was
right?
Roy Val actually had to pay for it. But yeah, I got to walk in on them arguing their case. Like, I didn't crash it. And just like, well, the big gash of paint on the front there, mate. So, but it actually reminded. It's funny because usually like American fighters are completely different, but it did remind me of like lads in Magaluf be like, no mate, didn't touch it. So
I bet there's...
Yeah. That picture Till posted of him in the back of the cab was sensational, wasn't it?
I didn't see that.
Him just like looking like completely like help in the back of the cab.
God.
That's the first question I asked him when I saw him next. I was like, any tips? Don't get caught.
As a Mac Life representative, what do you think to Poirier McGregor?
I would like to see it.
Yeah?
Is what I'm going to say on that subject. And then we'll change it. No, I'd like to see it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a good fight.
What about it is a good fight?
Look at their evolution since they fought, you know, even just the change of weight is enough
Yep.
to make it interesting. But I think it's also nice that it's similar with Cerrone. It would be nice to see Conor against someone where it's just like mutual respect, you know, like Poirier's become one of the most beloved guys in the sport since then,
Absolutely.
and especially with his work for charity. And I really like the fact that Conor said, I would still donate $500,000 to charity. I think
I like how they have a new relationship now in a sense
for
as
sure.
well.
And I think in this sport, probably in parts to some of the rivalries Conor's had, people think that they need to have some crazy rivalry to sell fights and stuff like that. So now it's almost the exception to the rule when they're nice to each other. And I think there's something quite cool about just cold mutual respect before a fight.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it says McGregor's boyfriend.
Me?
Yeah. I'm just
Not with
hiding
this,
a few
not
of
with
these,
this
so
hairline. Goodness me.
If you guys want me to batter Oscar and delete the whole of the Mac Life YouTube account, just let me know.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. No, these guys probably subscribe to our YouTube channel.
They
which you
do,
can
they
now
do,
if you're
they do.
judged by the fucking views we get.
No, you kill it, bro. You do a great job, mate.
Thanks,
In all
mate.
seriousness, you do a really good
Well,
job,
if
mate.
we'd like to mutually toss each other off, I think you've been amazing. Both of you guys have been.
Mutually tossing.
Wait till the well, I think that's actually illegal in Abu Dhabi, so
It is
probably not.
probably, yeah.
I was actually watching. I was watching Bruno on YouTube, waiting for the fight. I was like, probably shouldn't have this on my screen. Just seems like a risk, bit of a gamble.
Nah, I think you're safe with Bruno. But in all seriousness, mate, you do a really good job. To say that the Mat Life is completely ran by this guy, and he really doesn't get much help whatsoever.
Well, all right. I get all like.
No, but you don't have a video man, or like, do you know what I mean? Like in the sense,
Yeah.
like it's like you're on your own.
I don't take compliments very well, mate.
Okay.
So I appreciate this.
All right,
but
cool.
I think you guys have done a tremendous job, especially it's been sort of reinvigorating. I was going to wait until the end to tell you, Dan, but you should be very proud of these guys. They've been unbelievable so far.
Thank you, man.
No, of course. I was going to wait till the end, but even like I've been doing this all year. I've been at every event, and so to see you guys come in and care about the craft and ask, like, what's the best way to do this question and stuff, it's actually reinvigorating for me. It's like, fuck, I do actually care. I don't want to just phone it in. So it's been
Defo,
cool,
man.
been cool to have
Defo.
some new excitement about it.
And I appreciate all the help that you've given us as well, mate. It's
Yeah.
been great, really,
Master
really
note taker. His questions are like fully written out the whole way. It's great.
Yeah.
It's good. Unique content as well, which is, I think, the rest of us are pretty guilty of resting on our laurels at this point and just like waiting for Dana to come out and talk, which he's not doing today.
Is he not doing that?
No, he's not doing that today. It's not like there's anything to ask him about.
No.
But
All good, I think.
straight gauge in. Fantastic.
Where's the proper 12?
It's in my bedroom.
You know what's really weird is on the broadcast there were a couple of things that were sponsored by Proper 12, and the read was Proper Number 12, which sounds really weird to me.
I remember when he did Fury Wildlife, it was proper.
Yeah.
He's got it around though. Pretty impressive marketing.
Proper Number 12. Oh yeah. Yeah. Fair play to him. I just hope he gets back to fighting soon. That Warrior fight is going to be electric.
Yeah. That's exciting. And I was just saying to these guys, it would be nice to have a fight where you just can have mutual respect, just like the Cerrone thing. I think Cerrone probably went too far that way.
Yeah.
I think you could tell by the face-off he was a bit like, oh fuck.
He likes to be mates. Cowboy does.
He does, but
It's better in fights where he's mates with the person that he's fighting.
I know. But I remember the press conference and I remember the face-off and stuff. He even said to Conor like, I'm just tall because I'm wearing boots. I was like, all right, buddy. Like you aren't, don't have to be best friends with him. But I mean,
Yeah.
Cerrone can do
You
what
should
he
have
wants.
got, I'm tall and you're short, is what you should have said. That's the game to play. Cowboys never been very good at those playing those games.
Tell this man to smell this. Yeah.
Fuck the Raptors.
Fuck the Raptors.
It's not the first time it's been said.
Oh yeah.
I say it at least once a day.
Yeah. What inspired you to start it? Or did these guys come to you and you just backed it?
Yeah, I mean, you came into the gym, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I give it all to Dan, to be fair, and just being like lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, I think a lot of success comes from being at the right place, right time. And that's a bit of a cliche, but
For sure.
Seriously, just being, I know Dana always says it and stuff, which is a bit sort of weird, but if you get an opportunity, just forcing it to work for you.
That's it.
That's
That's
the
it.
most important thing.
And you've seen us do that firsthand, turning up to Tyson Fury and Wilder with no credentials.
Yeah, David Hay and you getting on still, or?
I sent him a message on Twitter after that. He never replied.
Did you? Oh, legend.
It's not the first I've heard of him being intense. We'll say. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Something along the lines of, what the fuck are you doing bugging off my guys? What I sent to him.
yeah.
He read and not replied to.
I just don't understand. He was 6 feet away from the media room and was complaining about the media. It's so bizarre.
What's your job, dude?
Yeah.
You know, one day no one's going to care about him, and then he's going to be begging for media.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
That's what I say. I've said this to these boys because every now and then they'll be doing like every now and then they'll be doing like a media day, and one of the fighters will be a real prick, and I'm like, just if someone's being a prick, just walk away from them, because we'll still be here when they've been released from the roster.
yeah.
Like, people don't realise that, like, everybody here asking them questions is there to help them with their career. So if you're going to be a prick about it, like, there's a couple of guys on this card that have just got bad reputations with the media. I'm like, you're doing yourself no favours.
I think
Like-
you give them an allowance, so if it's certainly like a Thursday or something, some guys have really tough weight cut, and you can understand a bit of grumpiness. But again, there's a mutual give and take with the media. We need them to get the content, but you know, we're not here to we're not all trying to fuck in, you know.
Exactly.
I think there's a balance between it. You don't
Definitely.
want to be too friendly either. You want to give them the space, and so they don't feel obligated to give you their time and stuff like that.
I feel like it comes with the territory of fighting for the UFC, though. Like, it's like,
Part of
and
the
if
job,
you don't like
100%.
it, then that's your problem rather than.
The crazy thing about the Hay thing, that in boxing, it's much more encouraged to just walk up to someone with a camera and put it in their face and start recording without even setting it up. You just
Is
go
it?
up, like TMZ style. Much more common, especially that's what the media room is for. So for him to have some egregious problem with that, I thought was a little bit weird.
Yeah. Did you
Maybe
actually
just
see
didn't like
it?
your face. I didn't see it. No, I just saw him shaking with his cigarette in his mouth. After the fight. Looked like a victim of assault.
It was anger, that's what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
furious. Look, he didn't rip his face off.
Yeah,
I'm
mate.
telling you.
Well, the thing is, I was like, if he does anything, I'm going to jump on his back.
You've seen the shot out of Jurassic Park?
Yeah, two
But the
raptors
thing
on the
is,
back.
honestly, and fair play, I might have got tossed off and battered, but I would have 100%.
I don't know if he feels like you, like if he feels like
But-
tossing you off or anything.
You never know. I would have 100% jumped on his back, and I think I said to someone, I was like, if he does that again, and he goes, he knows jiu-jitsu. I was like,
He has trained a bit of takedown, hasn't
yeah,
he?
I think so. That's what I heard. I thought, oh.
Apparently
fine.
Derek Chisora has been training MMA for a while.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
I'll tell
Jamie.
Who else? I think Enzo Maccanelli's a purple belt.
Really?
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Enzo Maccanelli?
Enzo Maccanelli.
Purple belt.
Like,
Wow.
I
That's
know-
a perfect crossover, right? If you wanted to.
Yeah.
Has that ever
He
been?
would be a middleweight in the UFC. Enzo. Yeah, I thought at one point he was going to cross over. Tony Bellew was talking about having a fight once.
He wanted
Tony
to do
Bellew was
Bisping,
talking
didn't he?
about having an MMA
When
fight.
I was out for Maymac, he wanted to fight Bisping.
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Really?
I got the same talk.
Yeah, he
at
kept
dinner,
talking
he was
about-
like,
yeah.
"Yeah, it's going to be massive." But he did the old school.
Lad.
Yeah, he did the old school like Amir Khan thing, like, 6 months takedown defense, I'll be ground. It's like, yeah, go on, son.
Yeah. The thing is with Bellew, he's a scrapper, and he's the kind of guy that you could put in an MMA fight. and
Yeah.
he'd do pretty well. Yeah.
Not against Bisping.
Well, no, not
No.
against Bisping, but
Also,
just like
the
generally.
weight's pretty different. That's like Eddie Hearn keeps saying, I want Katie Taylor to fight Chris Cyborg. Katie Taylor's like 135. I don't see, how that
Who
pans.
was the boxer that was coming over to fight Amanda Nunes? Forgot her name.
Clarissa Shields.
That's right. What happened? What happened to that?
I think she trained kickboxing and then thought, nah,
Yeah.
it'll be alright.
Oh, leg kicks. Ooh.
Yeah.
She put some videos of her like throwing like, very, very obviously basic amateur leg kicks.
Yeah.
At least she had a go. I much prefer that than the boxers.
Mm.
It'd been better putting her in against Jermaine Durando, mate.
Yeah.
Although now Jermaine's a grappler as well.
She's
so
tapping people out.
spoke
left,
too
right.
soon.
That was crazy, wasn't it?
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Put her to sleep. And you didn't have to shout at the ref this time.
I didn't have to shout at the ref.
Nearly.
Fortunately. No. Although I did spot that she was unconscious before the referee did.
I think when I watched it back, I think he was staring at her hands,
Yeah.
and so he didn't see the leg go limp.
Yeah, it was that kicking that she was doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
She's not doing that intentionally.
Maybe he just thought Durant-Bey's not tapping anyone.
No,
This is
exactly.
probably
Yeah.
fine.
She's a striker.
Yeah.
Do you remember Marabdvalishvili when he got caught in that guillotine?
Yes. I do.
And he was like trying to kick his way out of it, and then all of a sudden he was unconscious on the bell. And he was like, yeah. The thing is, if you watch enough MMA, like, I'm keeping a fight list of this trip so I can see how many fights I've watched. But before this second week started, I was at about 120 fights.
120 fights.
Yeah, about that. Because I go back, I watch the UFC fights, and I'll go back into their career and find what I can. And just generally watching enough MMA, you start to see characteristics and traits that are like, oh, this person's unconscious.
Patterns as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Like that fencing response, I didn't know about that until after the last fight island. But now I see it more than ever. Like Aljamain Sterling when he got knocked out by Moraes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a dab, didn't it? Yeah.
I like watching the fights in person, and I always go back and watch the broadcast version of it as well, because sometimes if you see social media, it's like how have they scored it like that, or how are they seeing that, you know? And obviously you guys with commentary, you guys have better angles, you can see stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was saying this to the Raptors the other day, it's difficult to score a fight when you sit in octagon side, partly because I'm not watching to see who's winning rounds, I'm watching to see who's trying to set the finish up best.
Yeah.
And I've also got the stats in front of me as well, so I can see who's landing what anyway. So that's always going to influence what I'm seeing when I'm sitting octagon side. So I don't like. I mean, sometimes it's quite clear to me who's won a round, but most of the time, if I'm unsure, I just won't say anything.
Yeah, I think you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? Because if you say, I think it's been scored like this, and then you're right, you look brilliant because you can call it and score it at the same time. But then if you get it wrong, then everyone's going to accuse you of trying to sway the viewer. So you're probably better off just never saying anything.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it is difficult.
And then I remember I think Goldberg said like 10-8 once, and it was like, where the fuck did that come from?
He just used to say random things though. Goldie,
did.
Do you remember a
soundboard? Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
We are underway. We are live. Cream Nuts, supporter of the UFC.
What are you going to say, Mister?
Forgot. Oh no, that was it. Do you remember a specific time when you transitioned into commentary that you were like, actually, this is really easy, or was it like that from the start, or has it ever been really easy, or
I think there's always been a challenge. Like one of the big challenges was like you were talking about a minute ago with all the other stuff that's going on in front of me. Like I'm not just sitting watching the fight, and I'm not just sitting watching one feed on my TV like I am at home. It's much easier to watch fights on a TV feed at home and have a good idea what's going on. But like if I've got the regular speed, the stats, and the ISO showing me all the replays and stuff, as well as me watching the fight through the fence and hearing live the strikes that are landed, like I'm getting a few different contexts to try and put together. And the other thing I've realised is that, like, sometimes if I'm watching the fight through the fence too much and I'm not watching the live feed, I'll be seeing a fight differently to what they're seeing on the live feed. So I have to keep that in mind. And then the other challenges are, you know, while the fight's going on or while I'm saying something, all of a sudden someone will be talking in my ear.
That's what I was going to ask you. That must be that to me would be the hardest thing to do. To just talk and then suddenly be interjected to still continue a sentence.
Yeah, it was. I mean, occasionally, like now we're doing post-fight interviews back in the octagon, occasionally you'll see me pull my earpiece out while I'm interviewing because I'm trying to hear what they're saying, which is coming through one ear, and I've got someone talking to me through the other, so I'm hearing two conversations going on, and I'm also trying to formulate my next question for them. And it's sometimes you'll just see me, I'll just pull my earpiece out.
Overload, right? It's just sensory.
It is.
And for the people listening that don't know, that's the people in the truck, right?
Yeah. Because they'll be telling me, you know, one more question, we're going to fire the replays into the screen, you know, various different things. But oftentimes it's like, sometimes like they'll be talking and I'll bypass the translator. I've done that a couple of times. I did that in Russia a couple of times. Because I'm hearing them reply, and then my natural thing is to come straight back to me. And because I'm not hearing their question anyway, because somebody else is talking to me, that was the biggest challenge, was getting used to having somebody else's voice in my ear.
Is that something you get used to? Is that something you're accustomed to, or is it always don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up?
I think you do get better at it. I mean, I can see, like, when we were working on the desk, because when we were working the ESPN desk and Angela Hill was with us last week, I know when someone's talking in her ear because I can see it kind of throws her off a little bit.
Hear the eyes get.
Yeah, whereas with Felder, he's now gotten really, really smooth at just kind of, you just keep saying, you just keep going down the path, and then you try and figure out what they've just said to you in your ear.
I know that when we used to have the press conferences with fans and stuff, I haven't asked that many questions at them, but when you do, you hear your own voice on the speakers of the arena about half a second after. I remember the first time I did that, I was suddenly talking a lot slower.
talking.
Yeah.
Suddenly like, oh shit. And it makes you appreciate people like Rogan, who's been doing it for years, or John Morgan, who's been doing it for years, just plow right through. I guess it's just focusing on what you're saying.
Yeah. But still, like when we first started doing Inside the Octagon, John and I used to both have an earpiece in. I don't have an earpiece for that show anymore, because that's one thing. Like when we're doing War Rooms, and I don't think people realise, but that's one take. Like I don't do Inside the Octagon rehearsals or anything. Like I sit down and I do it, and if I start it, I can't stop. It's like an exorcism. I need to just get it out. And if I have somebody speaking in my ear, oftentimes it'll throw me off, because I've got different narratives going on, different stats flying around in my head. So yeah.
That's an example of your own skill to be able to do stuff like that in one take. But I think it's also more organic. I hate overproduced stuff.
Yeah.
I would much
too.
prefer sitting down talking about this than a multi-angled interview that's been cut and spliced, and I hate it when you see a hard cut in an interview and you just think, what did they not want in there? What got said that got cut out?
Yeah.
See that in
I mean
basketball.
that's why. I mean a part of the premise of the full Reptile channel is gonzo journalism. It's from Huntress Thompson, and it's be there, be a part of it, and acknowledge that you're a part of the environment, which means you're going to affect it, but also at the same time just kind of ride with it, be present and just document what's there. Like when we're doing War Rooms, sometimes I'll get an Amazon delivery or something, and we'll just carry on.
I saw Goddard breaking the chair.
Yeah, gotta leave it in. I mean, they're funny bits, you gotta leave them.
But I think that there was a space for that in MMA, so it's perfect. And I think at one point every journalist goes through a phase where I'm Hunter Thompson now, and they get a bit of gonzo. But I think there's a space for it. I think there's still space in MMA media for loads of stuff.
The cool thing about the gonzo journalism as well is in the sense of what we're doing right now. We're not all constantly talking about MMA. We're talking about the environment, literally the environment. What are people wearing? What do you know what I mean? And, and creating like narrative out of that, which is quite unique.
Sometimes it doesn't pay off, but I think sometimes you get the best out of fights. They're human beings, and they've probably been asked, "How are you going to punch him?" 100 times. So I can't remember. I think it was KB.
KB Buller.
He was pretty sort of robotic, and then he got asked about Pokemon, and then he fucking off to the races, and then you couldn't get him to stop. So I think by being gonzo, you get access to bits that the rest don't see, and I think that's exciting to watch. It's probably at this point what I prefer to watch, rather than how's the weight cut.
He was the funniest fight interview on Tuesday.
Yeah,
KB
loves a
Buller.
dinosaur.
He was so funny.
About his mum crushing his Jurassic. You tell it.
He was talking about the different names that he had, and the reason why he had to learn how to fight, because he was a minority in a school with an unusual name, and he went through like there's Alfie and Kenny and Chris and Thomas, and then his name, I can't remember what his full name is, but then I think his parents called him Google or something like that, which again was rather embarrassing for him. But he was brilliant. He did a great impression of his dad. It was fantastic, and he was like talking about, because obviously Tanabosa got into the UFC and was doing well, and and he's talking about his dad. He always lounges on this like sofa and he's drinking his tea, and he's like, when are you going to get in the UFC? It was just like the impression was gold. It was really, really good.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I bet the fighter interviews are some of probably the most unique things during the whole of fight week, and they're not filmed.
Loads.
Yeah,
they're fantastic. I mean, it's like to look back at the fight weeks that we didn't do them, and we don't speak to every fighter. We usually do 12, which is they kind of do half the card. But like certain things stand out that then transfer over into commentary that are not necessarily about the fight themselves, but they paint a picture of that individual. Like we've just been talking about Youssef Salal. Like my first thought when he sat down in the fighter interviews is, how has he coped with being in a hotel room for 2 days? Because he's a wild man. He's a battery pack. And as he was sitting there, I'm chatting to him. I'm like, dude, what is your heart rate at the moment? And he checked it. And he was at like 115, just sitting on the sofa talking. But he's hyped all the time. And then that went into that conversation about that genetic disorder that he's got, where he's got a lower red blood cell count, which means his heart rate's higher naturally.
It's crazy how people like that can become a professional athlete at top tier level.
Yeah, and then like Jordan Williams, type 2 diabetic, type 1 diabetic.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, and how in
That's
a sense
tough,
really tough.
he has to be more aware of what he eats than anybody else on
And he
this
can't
card,
do a weight
and he
cut,
can't weight
basically,
cut.
which I think is going to turn out amazing for him.
That's the thing. I mean, you've got to think it'll slow him down towards the top level, especially because if you consider he's weighing in at 181 at middleweight, and then you've got Paulo Costa walking around at 250 in camp.
True.
You know,
True.
there's always going to be a limit to how.
What did
far
you think to his fight?
It was kind of a mess, wasn't
Mhm.
it?
Was
It
really
was kind of
scrappy,
a
wasn't
mess.
it?
Yeah, I was disappointed because I don't think it. I don't know why. I don't know whether he'd had a struggle with his sleep or his travel or whatever. But he doesn't normally gas like that. Not what I've seen. I mean, his fights are a bit scrappy, but that was.
Yeah.
But then there was the clash of heads. Then there was the groin shot, and there were a lot of other things going on. And he was getting quite emotional in that first round. Because like after the clash of heads, they were both bleeding. But then after the groin shot, he yelled at the referee. He's like, "That's that's the groin shot and the
When fighters start doing that, that's a bit concerning, right? Because then you can see they're almost checking out of the fight and they're starting to be pissed off. And
Sometimes, yeah. There's I can't remember which fight it is in particular, but there was one fight where someone got kneed in the groin, and you just saw in his head he just checked out.
Really?
Yeah, you could just see it. He was just like, it was like, this is going to affect the rest of the fight, and he was never able to get back psychologically.
Can you remember any fights you've been commentating where you've seen somebody check out of a fight psychologically? If you can say.
I probably could if I thought back.
Mm.
I mean, CB Dollaway in that fight, I can't remember his opponent's name now, but the one that we covered in the Herb Dean video was like he checked out 2 minutes before the end of that round, and just kept he was curled up in a ball, and I mean you do see it from time to time.
I remember there was, might have been, I can't remember who it was, but Uriah Hall was fighting someone and they had like a bit of animosity. The face-off was very sort of hot-tempered, and then he got kicked in the balls like right away, and you just saw it just, the energy just went straight out of him.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought, it's a bit like when Masvidal just flying kicked Till in the balls. I think if you do it the first shot of the fight, probably a point, because it just seems so intentional. And even though Masvidal gave it the old college, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
It does affect the fight. But I mean, Uriah's always been one of those guys that struggled psychologically anyway. And like I remember when he was at UFC 204 when he was rematching Mousasi, and he was so pissed off because he knew that everybody realised that he's not really better than Mousasi, and he was lucky to catch him with that back kick because he meant to hit him in the body, and Mousasi level changed onto it. So he's very weak mentally though. Uriah is.
I have a feeling
Probably why he's blocked me on Instagram.
I was about to say, you're not making friends.
No, okay.
I have a feeling that him and Anderson could be just a bit of a.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed that Anderson's going in there against someone that can make a name off him. You know what I mean? Like there's get Nick Diaz and Anderson Silva in there or something. Like match him with someone that is on an even footing with
It's the one thing I feel the UFC hasn't learned from boxing. They've learned so many of boxing's mistakes and they've adapted to it, but people don't want to watch their legends get fucked up and thrown out. We saw it with Ali just the last few fights, and it always happens. And I understand there's an economy to the sport, and you have to sort of do that sometimes. But when it's someone like Anderson Silva, we don't have to see him fight Jared Cannonier or Derek Brunson. There are other names to match him up against.
Yeah, it's same with Sanchez, and the flip side to that, the danger as well is so you put Sanchez in against Michel Pereira. Obviously, he ended up with the victory in that fight, but he got beat up all the way through, and then he's in there against Jake Matthews. Like, he's not losing to someone that is on an even footing with him, which is not going to tell him where he is in his career realistically, because he's always going to come out of that fight and go, oh yeah, but he's one of the young prospects in the division. It's like, if you matched him against someone of an even footing and he loses, then he might start to realise himself, oh shit, like if the other veterans are beating me, maybe it's time.
Well, that's, I think, Cerrone. I was surprised at Cerrone's last fight why he was booked like that.
Yeah.
Weird. UFC makes that's one sad reality of combat sports is that the old guys get fed to the new guys.
Yeah, but that's why I was talking about the veteran division the other day.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't know what quantifies
Hope you're
a
enjoying
veteran.
this, guys.
It's not age, it's not experience.
We're started. We're going again. Oh God, Jamie, quick. Cool. This looks like an intense one.
Stand by.
Oh, Jamie, don't get naked. That would be bad. So, here he is.
Next fight to the scale, Ali Al-Qaisi.
Ali Al-Qaisi.
136 for Ali Al-Qaisi.
136 for Al-Qaisi. They seem happier than they...
Okay, we'll start the faces
Wow.
in a few minutes.
Scary, that one. Damn, that was a intense one. So now we'll be getting ready, not weddy like Jonathan Ross, but ready. Huh? Did you? Oh. I think we cut it just at the point. Wow, that bad. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in to us. It means the world. So we are literally getting ready for the face-offs now, and I think this will be, looks like an immediate turnaround. As you can see, this is what happens when the guys are changing, taking the scales out, taking the wood out, and now the security boys are in. So we got security Steve just there, the Don of security, and then we have Tiny on the other side. Now these boys are the Dons. You'll see them walking out, all of the fighters. You'll see McGregor on his walkout. They've got security Steve next to him. So yeah, these are the guys. I'm sure you know all about them anyway. Well, I was Holly home for a minute and remembered that was last week. The Dons of Wednesday. Don't forget the wood. Oh, right, so here we go. There's no Dana. I have no idea what Dana could be doing. That he can't turn up for this.
Hello everybody and welcome to the face-offs. Okay.
So, who do you think is going to have the most fiery face-off? Let us
First
know in the
fighters to the
comments.
stage in the flyweight division. Tagir Ulanbekov against Bruno Silva.
So Bruno Silva against Tagir Ulanbekov. And again, they're all coming from the same side, which is unique. Usually they come from parallel sides. So the red corner will come from the left side and the blue corner will come from the right side. But they're all coming in at the same. Ooh. This one's getting fiery. Okay, next up we've got Tracy Cortez and Stephanie Edgar. Again,
Next
this
up
is
in the women's bantamweight division, Stephanie Edgar versus Tracy Cortez.
so in comes Stephanie Edgar first, blue corner, and then in comes Tracy Cortez. So
Moving on to the featherweight division, Omar Morales against Giga Chikadze.
So Giga Chikadze coming from the red corner Hope you like that, Mark. And Omar Morales coming from the blue corner. Hope you like that again, Mark.
Next up in the bantamweight division, Tony Kelly versus Ali Al-Qaisi.
So next up we've got Tony Kelly versus Ali Al-Qaisi in a bantamweight bout, 3 rounds. So having literally just made weight, now he faces off. Damn right, Jack. Interesting. So who do you guys have for this one? Oh, right.
Next fighters to the stage in the middleweight division, Joaquin Buckley against Impa Kasanganay.
So Joaquin Buckley fights Impa Kasanganay in a middleweight bout, 3 rounds, obviously. Should be an entertaining middleweight bout. Stacked division, stacked card, stacked guys. Right, Mark, you're being binned, mate. See you later, you loser.
Next up in the heavyweight division, Rodrigo Nascimento against Chris Daukaus.
So this one also heavyweight bout. Well, I say also first heavyweight bout of the night. This will be Chris I'm not even gonna. Chris Daukaus. Yeah, Chris Daukaus against Rodrigo Nascimento.
In the featured bout of the preliminary card, KB Buller against Tom Breeze.
So this is the last fight on the prelims. It's Tom Breeze and KB Buller. Middleweight bout for 3 rounds. I'm really excited for this one.
First fight on the main card in the featherweight division, Ilia Topuria against Youssef Zalal.
So the first fight on the main event of the ESPN card is Youssef Zalal and Ilia Topuria. Featherweight bout this is, guys. A very interesting featherweight bout. Sorry, metal
Moving
detector.
on to the heavyweight division, Alan Badeau against Tom Aspinall.
Alan Badeau against Tom Aspinall. Heavyweight bout, 3 rounds. And I was reading and doing other things other than listening to Dan. But plus, I don't care either. It is what it is.
Next to the stage in the middleweight division, Dricus du Plessis against Marcus Perez.
Thank you, Papa Brazier. Cool name. No. Ooh, the Joker. Marcus Perez. Dricus du Plessis. Ooh, I didn't expect this one to be fiery. This, I like it. Chris Pontius dressed as the Joker. I like it. Dricus du Plessis is looking fiery. This is his debut as well, Dricus. So fighting the Joker on your
Next up
debut.
in the heavyweight division, Martin Tabora against Ben Rothwell.
So Martin Tabora against Ben Rothwell. 3 rounds, heavyweight bout.
your co-main event of the evening in the featherweight division, Makwan Amirkhani against Edson Barbosa.
So, Edson Barbosa against Makwan Amirkhani, co-main event, featherweight bout for 3 rounds. Makwan came in cold on media day, like cold. It was scary. So much so that I got put off asking my question. Edson seemed very different, on a different level, a bit more of a mature level. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen here? But it's going to be a good fight.
In the bantamweight division, Corey Sandhagen against Marlon Moraes.
So the main event, Marlon Moraes against Corey Sandhagen in the bantamweight bout. This is a 5-round bout. Interesting. Cool. So
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for some excellent fights.
that's it. Thank you once again, guys, for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. There's many MMA channels out there, and you chose us, and that means a lot. So thanks a lot once again. We really, 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 really appreciate it. If you've got any final questions that you want to try and get through last minute before we cut off and head off, that'll be no problem. Dan's taking a seat.
Still rolling?
Yeah, still rolling, bro. I was just telling everyone thank you.
What's the Joker's name? Marcus Perez. Or Heath Ledger, depending on which one you mean. Or what? Who else has played Joker? Jack Nicholson?
Yeah, and
Who's the
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah,
Phoenix,
of course,
that's the
of course.
one.
I still haven't watched that, you know.
I've not either.
I literally still haven't watched. No, we tried to watch it in Amsterdam. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I had to leave because the guy next to me was eating too
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm gonna look forward to it.
I just
just sat there and this guy was fucking munching his way through half of the 7-Eleven. And if it was Mark Goddard, he'd have pulled his arms off for sure.
So what do you take away from all of that then?
It was pretty smooth, pretty chill. Everybody looked good. Everybody looked calm. Ali Al-Khalsi was obviously the last one to weigh in, and he looked very relieved when he weighed in. But I kind of feel like he's always got a battle with the scales because he's very lean at that weight class. Heavyweights though, I mean, we've got some heavyweight bangers on this card.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is that we've got some heavyweights that are weighing in light. I mean, Chris Dauka's weighing in at 227. That was a surprise to me, especially because he's fighting Rodrigo Nascimento, who was 265, right at the top of the weight class. Tom Aspinall and Alan Baudot are not big heavyweights either. Baudot's fought at light heavyweight the majority of his career, taking this one on short notice, of course, but that's going to be an interesting one. Both guys very, very quick. And then Rothwell against Marcin Tybura. I mean, we've got good heavyweight fights on this card.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
What's the stream saying? How did you like the live stream podcast thing we've got going on? Did you enjoy it? We got a few people watching still?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should Islam fight because RDA has COVID? Yes, I believe 100% he should fight. Of course he should fight.
I don't know who though. I know they've got Michael Chandler here, but I
Oh,
don't think that's
yeah.
going to be made.
No, why?
No, I don't. I just that's not what I'm hearing. I'm just,
Okay.
I'm not hearing that fight's being made. I mean, I might be wrong at this point, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think the thing is with Michael Chandler, he's coming in as a contender already because of what he's done outside of the UFC. And I keep seeing people saying Islam against Charles Oliveira. It's a hell of a fight, but I wouldn't want to see Charles Oliveira come in on short notice and take that fight.
Yeah.
I'd want to see him get a full training camp, because if he comes in unprepared to face someone like Islam, he's going to get run into the ground. I mean, of course he's got the skills to win, but it wouldn't be a fair representation of him unless he's got a full training camp behind him.
No, I completely agree. I think the one fight that I'm most curious about is Tom Breeze and KB Buller.
Yeah.
I just can't. I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a battle of who controls the range. Tom Breeze is a really good southpaw boxer, but he does prefer other southpaws. He does prefer facing other southpaws because then he's allowed to use his jab a bit more. Whereas KB Buller, I mean, he's undefeated, but there's so little of him online.
Yeah.
Like if you try and research that guy, you can barely find anything. and I know his style. I know he's very much a Muay Thai fighter, so he's going to be more about closing distance down with elbows and knees. But he is predominantly an orthodox fighter as well. So
is he from Pakistan?
I think his parents are. He's Canadian though.
Right. I was just wondering, is he like the first like Indian fighter on the UFC? Other than that,
if he's from Pakistan, he'd be Pakistani, right?
Yes, he would be. Yeah.
I would have thought you'd know that, Mr.
Yeah, I would. I generalised.
No, we had Arjun Buller. We had Arjun Singh Buller
correct.
came over as well.
Yeah,
of no relation, actually. But his name is...
Oh, yeah. Literally the same surname.
But they're not related.
What a coincidence.
It is a very common name, though, isn't it? But no, I mean, he was...
You don't see many, like, Indian MMA fighters,
No, not really. We've had a couple crossover. We had a kid... I can't remember his name. He made his UFC debut against one of the Shanghai Performance Institute guys. His name will come to me in a little while. But yeah, he's a talented fighter. But the problem for Tom Breeze is finding a way to research him, finding something on him that you can kind of prepare. And Tom's he's a very cerebral individual. He likes to analyze and break down his opponents. And, you know,
I was going to ask you
not
about
much to
this
work with.
because I forgot to ask you earlier as well. But I see Tom Breeze around a lot, and he's always on his own. I haven't actually seen him with anyone since I've been here, and I know that he fights. I don't know this. I'm assuming he fights out of Renegade because I've seen him at Renegade. But nobody is here from Renegade. Is he on his own?
No, he
came in on his own as well.
Yeah, he did. He'll have somebody with him. I'm not sure who though. Yeah, Tom's an interesting one. He says very little. I mean, I've interviewed him a few times, and he just really doesn't say a great deal at all. He keeps everything very close to his chest, and I don't know whether that's because of his preference during fight week. I mean, I never particularly liked anybody around me during fight week. One of the most difficult things was having to share a room with a coach, because I just want to be on my own.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I did the weight cut on my own and everything as well. So different fighters have different things. I know there are other fighters out there that they wouldn't want to be on their own during fight week.
When you fought GSP for the title, did you have your own room then?
I did. Yeah, I had a suite then, but my suite was joined with my corner team, so cool. I had a door I could close. But yeah, that was good. That was good. Still not as nice as the room I've got now though.
No, is it not?
Yeah, no. The room I've got now is pretty slick. I get some mats down in there. I can have a full training session.
Yeah. Have you been training much while you've been out here?
Yeah, I've been doing a few bits. I had a good roll with Johnny G's the other day.
Yeah, someone wrote in the comments, has anyone seen the video of John grappling with Dan?
There isn't one. We didn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Unless John set up a covert camera hoping to catch me in something.
Maybe.
But he didn't,
might
so he ain't going to put it out.
That's weird. Yeah.
John and I always have a little roll, because the thing is, we don't. Although we spend a lot of time with each other when we're on the road, when we're away, we don't. And with COVID, we've not been together for the inside the octagons or anything like that either. So we've not had a good catch up in a while. So we have a bit of an old man jiu-jitsu session where we chat and we foam roll and we stretch, and then we're like, let's have a couple of, and we did sort of 3 10-minute rounds of grappling, and then we'll have another chat.
I saw. Well, we've got video, haven't we, of you manhandling John. In Copenhagen.
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was when Mark DeCasey was training next to you, and you were with John.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. John and I always have a good laugh, a good roll around, and he works hard on his jiu-jitsu. He's on the mats with Dave Lee quite a lot, who's a former UFC vet. Yeah, John's improving all the time. Everything he does in his life, he's dedicated towards making him better as a commentator, even when he's training jiu-jitsu.
And that's great. I love that about John. It's awesome. The only thing I don't is the earmuffs.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing them the other day.
He wasn't. Yeah, no, Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, I don't attack ears though when I'm grappling. I did catch him in a couple of triangles, but I didn't squeeze too hard to mess his ears up, because he's You don't want cauliflower ears when he's got ears like that. He said it himself. I'm only quoting him.
Do you want to come on and tell everyone what you've been doing today?
Yeah, man.
I'm just gonna get a coffee.
Yeah, how are the coffees? All right.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna go see.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah, I'll have one, mate. No, I'll have with milk, please, and a sugar. Yeah. Sweeten the bad boy up for me. I ain't had a good card
It's
since I
been
got it.
it's been good, to be fair.
Yeah?
Everyone looked well, apart from who was the last guy who came through?
Yeah, Ali.
Yeah,
Ali
he
Al
looked.
Qaisi. He looked a bit weathered, didn't he?
I think he saved it till like the last few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Barely
Yeah.
made it in,
When,
but
when he arrived here backstage, he was 0.2 over. He was 136.2, with like stripped down as well. So they've got like a little sauna box here, and they put him in there for a couple of minutes, and he lost it. So
yeah.
the good thing is he was still sweating.
I thought the
Ooh, who's your tattoo artist? We're going to talk about your tattoos in a minute because you've got some new ones, haven't you?
oh, I have to be fair.
Yeah.
I
I've got
got a
a
couple
bunch
on
of
my.
tattoo artists. Tim Hendricks, Sung Sung, Norm did my back in Spotlight. Fred Al Oliveira did my chest. Portraits by Robert Foe. Got a few bits floating around. You've just had some done, but so what, the artist, because I've got this set of tarot cards as well.
Yeah,
Something
the
weirdo like that.
the illustration is by an artist called Mika Ulrich.
Mika Ulrich.
Mika Ulrich.
Micah.
Yep.
Ulrich. Yeah.
Yeah. But the
Wicked
guy who actually
designs.
did the tattoo on me is my good friend Nick Harris, back in England.
I'm gonna have to go and see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good work, man. That's good
Yeah,
work.
he did a really good job on both of them. Really
Did you get that one
happy.
inside your arm as well? You were gonna have.
Oh yeah, that's again that's a Mika Ulrich illustration.
Yeah,
God and Adam.
I love it. It's worth checking his stuff out. He's on YouTube. So what's it? It's on YouTube, on Instagram. I think he's been wearing his stuff, hasn't he, recently?
Yeah, Post Malone.
Post
yeah,
Malone.
he's
People
I
keep
think,
tagging me in his bloody photos.
you know what? I actually saw a photo the other day, and you
Is
do.
it where he's sitting with the guitar? There was
um,
one that I was tagged in the other day, and he's sitting with the guitar,
I'll
and
see
he's
if I
like
can find
looking up, and it's like, I mean, I kind of see it, apart from the fact
Yeah,
that
I
it's,
saw there was one because he was like looking up
yeah.
with the camera, and I was like, I can kind of see it a
Kinda
little
see
bit.
it?
yeah.
I don't see it. I got someone tagged me, and they were like, "Oh, it looks like Dan Hardy, and someone's drawn all over him."
Which one? Which picture was it? I'll try and find it.
I don't actually know any of his music. I've never listened.
No, I mean I've never really listened to him personally.
to Mika rocks. Yes, he does.
Post Malone. Yeah, there's one where he was looking up.
Would you
No, I'm not
recommend
gonna
a
be able to
bell
find
and
it.
piercing? No, no, I wouldn't. Not at all. You're gonna spray all over the toilet seat if you put extra holes in the bad boy. Nah, can't be pleasant. Can't be pleasant.
I can kind of see it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Have you
kind
got
of.
yourself some face tats?
Yeah, occasionally I
Mm.
see it, but like there was one that I was tagged in the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I see what people are saying, but at the same time,
Would you ever go for face tats?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I might have something at some point, certainly around my ears and into my hairline. I'm gonna get my neck done, but yeah, I'm not sure about my face.
Mm.
Something small maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever
When I
touch
murder
my
a couple
face
of fools, I
personally.
get the tears on my face. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever go
Neck?
close to my face.
Mm,
Neck,
slouch.
maybe back of head, but
Yeah.
face, no.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Hairline, inside your hairline.
Yeah, maybe like there.
Yeah.
That's the limit.
I do like the sacred geometry ones that come around. I do like them, but it's the everlasting job stopper, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, not that you boys need to worry about jobs anymore. It's just me that needs to worry about a job, so you keep paying you boys. Whatever you do, don't go bald again. Really? I kind of quite like it with my head shaved.
Yeah.
Which
as
one?
much as
I
Oh,
think
that's a good one.
As much
the
as I
most
like
attractive
having
you to me with ghosts.
the most attractive me for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Then I will definitely
fighter-
not shave my head again.
Which fighter has the worst tattoos?
Oh,
Oh,
dude, that's
It's
a
bit
good
hard.
question.
It's a good
It's a
question.
good question. I tell you what, for as much as the actual artwork itself is it's good, color portraits never look good.
No.
Johnny Cash on Alan Belcher's arm, especially because Alan Belcher's kind of pink anyway. You know what I mean? When he gets flushed and sweaty, like that gets really pink, and it's and it's plus it also, obviously it's on his arm, so it's all kind of stretched out. But I'll be honest, it'd be easier to answer the fighters that've got good tattoos because there aren't
Yeah.
many.
The to be fair, I'm a
Amir Khani.
yeah.
What's he
He
got?
had some good tattoos. I
Did he?
didn't
Yeah.
see close up, but they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of Thiago Santos's.
Oh, the big hammer.
The hammer.
Yeah. What about the Brock Lesnar?
Yeah,
sword.
them two. I'm not.
Have you seen the one that someone's photoshopped it so it looks like a penis instead? It's flying around the internet. If you Google cock chestnut, you'll find it.
Cock chestnut.
I know. Yeah, I tell you what, centre of chest is bad though. Really painful.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that one on my shin, I think that's probably the most painful one.
That on the shin bone.
Yeah, on the shin bone. Just feels like it's driving down.
Yeah.
Very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Plus, I had to wear a mask and I had a chew in my mouth and it fell out and stuck to my face and yeah, it was a bad time.
You had a mask on.
Yeah.
And you
So-
had chewing gum in.
Yeah.
And the chewing gum
And
fell
the
out.
chewing gum
stuck
fell
in the
out because I
mask.
was in so much pain. Didn't realise it fell out and it stuck all around here. But,
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant! I got chewing gum stuck in my ear once at school, and this girl was like, "No, I can fix that for you." She just came up and just snipped it out, and I had this fucking little tuft on the back of my head for ages. It took ages to grow out.
Will you fight again?
And we need to catch up with this. So what we got? You've just had 2 conversations. Well, you've recorded. Oh, shows your tats, Jamie. Oh, it's Raptors MMA. Is that mystery tweeting from somewhere? Who's
Yeah, it
doing
is.
that?
Yeah, who's that?
Mystery's disappeared, and now
Say
he's in the
yes if that's you,
feed.
mystery.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be him. Does Dan approve of the forehead tattoo on Mastodon's Brent Hines? I don't think I've seen that. Forehead
you're
tattoos
saying,
are never good, are they?
About the chat I had earlier.
Yeah. Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Well, I've been creating a series on the channel, focusing around the coaches. And I know Mystery's obviously been doing the fight psyches with fighters, which have been really good. The Michael Chiesa one was wicked.
Yeah.
Love that. But same principle, but I'm going to be talking to coaches. I had a conversation with Mark Montoya last week, which
That
was
awesome.
great.
Really enjoyed that.
Real nice dude. And today I had one with Sam Greco and Dan Kelly. That was that was really good as well. Really cool guys.
2 legends.
Yeah. So that'll be coming out tomorrow. Get that up tomorrow on the channel.
Nice.
And then Jimmy Crute as well.
Oh yeah.
He's back on the island on the 18th with. Who's he back with? I can't remember now, but he was here with Kyler Phillips.
Yeah.
And Casey Kenny.
Yeah.
Last week, who both had really good.
Oh,
good
John
wins.
Crouch.
John Crouch, sorry,
John
no,
Crouch.
John
Jimmy
Crouch.
Crute, yeah.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
Jimmy
Right.
Crute was with Sam Greco.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's fighting next weekend.
yeah, he's fighting next weekend. Sorry, John Crouch next week.
Yeah.
He's back out here at the island.
Definitely want to listen to that one, and Brad Pickett as well.
Yeah,
He's
Brad
on his
Pickett.
way
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
And
that'd
he
be
needs to
great.
bring me some Lego, Brad, because I'm climbing the walls in my hotel room. Should have brought a Lego set with me. Should have brought one.
I want to do one with Jimmy when we get back as well.
Yeah.
I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, that would be
Mm.
good. That would be good. Jimmy needs a fight soon. Jimmy needs a fight. I know Bellator are keeping him on the shelf.
Uh-huh.
That's annoying me. He needs releasing so he can. Love him to come back to the UFC and get another crack. He's talking about going up to middleweight though. So here's
Oh, is he?
here's the Brent Hines face tattoo.
Mm.
Oh shit. It's not too bad. I mean, I wouldn't, but
What is it?
I don't know. It's like some kind of like Polynesian tribal thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't mind them when they're kind of just seep a little bit out your hairline, and
Yeah.
there's the ones that are like under the eyes, and I would never go full Mike Tyson. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're a
it's not
rock
bad.
star, or
That's
you know
it,
what I mean.
isn't
If
it?
you're in a band, you kind of get away with it, to be honest.
That's it. I don't mind it. I mean, I wouldn't have it myself. But it goes down his neck as well.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do like that.
Too bad. The thing I don't like, and this is just a general rule, is like my agreement for myself before I get my hands and neck done was to get my sleeves done.
Mhm.
Like when people get hands and stuff when they've not got
Yeah, yeah,
tattoos
yeah.
elsewhere, it just looks like it's just nerd arm. It just looks like
Bit
they're
of
trying to,
a footballer move, that I think.
yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew a guy who used to train with him, and he had no tattoos anywhere else other than his hands and his neck and his face.
Mm.
I'm like,
Just
know.
yeah. It's like
It's a
just
bit-
saying, just to let everyone know, I do have tattoos, but
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I'm about ready
Yeah.
to get some food.
Yeah, ready to
Should we
shoot.
wrap it?
Yeah.
Nice
Appreciate
one.
everyone tuning in. It's been a good. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast version of the weigh-ins.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it next week. We'll do it next week. I'll be
for
here
sure.
next week. and
Next
we'll do it
week
again.
is Ortega Zombie, so that should be
Oh, what a
pretty
fight.
pretty stacked card.
What a fight.
But yeah, cool. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thanks for all the questions.
Take care.
See you next time.
Bye.
Cool. Where's Mystery gone? I want to rate the food. I am hungry. Oh, that's what's it called? It's changed over to Indian food now instead of the rice place.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah, it's good.
You want to say? Say bye?
Oh, he's still on. Bye.